drivers are at the ready for NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying for tomorrow's Aaron's 499 on Fox. The qualifying order is a little topsy-turvy. The usual suspects not in the usual places because of abbreviated practice yesterday. The first round of practice was extended, and then as the storms and tornadoes that took 7 lives elsewhere in Alabama rolled through, the second practice was curtailed. It's a beautiful sunny, partly cloudy day today, just barely 60 degrees, and the wind has changed. Yesterday, as when Paulo Montoya takes his Target Chevy on the track, today it is blowing across the track from the tri-oval straight across 90 degrees perpendicular to the backstretch. Yesterday it was blowing from turn 1 and 2 up to turns 3 and 4, giving a push down the backstretch and a headwind down the front stretch. Darrell, what is this wind going to do to these cars?
Believe it or not, when you're going down the back straightaway and you've got a little headwind like we have today, a crossing wind, I guess, to some degree, it will buff the car around. It bucks the front of the car up, believe it or not. Get a little puff of air under there. We saw yesterday some of the cowl flaps will pop open. Now, with the grills taped up the way they are today, won't be quite as bad, but it will move the car around a little bit as you go down that long back straightaway.
As you know, this year we line up for time trials in the reverse order of practice speeds. So the man who won the pole the last 2 times we had qualifying at Talladega is the first car on track, Larry, and that's Montoya.
Well, I couldn't help but think when you were talking about the wind, we know that one of Montoya's favorite pastimes is flying RC planes and helicopters, but another sport he truly enjoys is windsurfing. So he should be right at home here around this 2.5-mile racetrack.
Finished second here in April of 08. 2 poles for the 1999 kart champion and the 2000 Indy 500 winner.
Actually finished 3rd in both races last year here in 2010. Yeah, I think this is one of those true qualifying sessions. I walked through the garage area this morning, talked to a few drivers, talked to a few crew chiefs. I don't think anyone, even if you think your car can do it, no one has any idea who can actually sit on the pole here because of the drafting practice with the impound procedure, plus, as you said, Mike, an abbreviated practice.
Yes, hardly anybody had a chance to make a single car run yesterday as things sorted out. Now the first lap expected to be the slower of the two, 54.88, 174.5 miles an hour.
Well, you can really see that car. You know how normally we talk about the right rear is kicked out on the downforce tracks. Here you do it the opposite way. You get the car running with the left side tucked in like you see here to get the spoiler out of the air going through the corner. You want it out there on the downforce tracks. You want to try to hide as much of that rear spoiler as you can on a track like this. So you cock that rear end around to the left. That keeps the spoiler out of the air a little bit going through the corner.
Right down against the double yellow line for lap 2.
It's normally about a 3/4 of a second pickup from lap 1 to lap 2, but just because of the way the carburetor restrictor plate works.
And across the line, Montoya's money lap is 0.8 of a second faster. His teammate, Jamie Mack, is next.
In 35 days.
Have you ever?
No, I have never.
Don't miss the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race live on Speed.
Ready? Ready? Green flag, green.
Everyone on my team always wants something different for dinner, and I am not a short order cook. That's why we're headed to CC's Pizza for their $4.99 endless buffet. The variety is unbelievable. I know I can finally relax when I hear.
Hi, welcome to CC's.
Truth is, most motorcycle insurance costs about the same. What's not the same is the coverage. Now you can get the Allstate protection you need for a price you can afford. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects the rider better than Allstate.
Amanda had 3,000.
The commissioner is about to get this party started on NFL Network.
Okay, football fans, here we go. Welcome to the NFL Draft.
The 2011 NFL Draft begins Thursday, April 28th, live and in primetime. NFL Network. You want the NFL? Go to the NFL.
I would say to our fans and to our community to please get excited about this football team. because the time is now. We want to do this now.
If you're an Xfinity customer and subscribe to Bollywood Hits on Demand, you can now watch online for free. You get a full access pass to movies, music videos, and so much more. So go to xfinitytv.com to sign in. And if you haven't ordered Bollywood Hits on Demand yet, call 1-800-XFINITY or go to comcast.com/Bollywood.
Speed's presentation of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying in Talladega is brought to you by Fram. Fram filters help make sure failure is not part of your engine's life. Don't fail your engine, use Fram. By Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. And by Toyota. Second qualifier is Montoya's teammate, Jamie McMurray, the Bass Pro Shops Chevrolet. 34th fastest in practice among the teams that are locked into the field. First lap for McMurray, 54.883, just 3 1/1000ths off what his teammate ran.
That's amazing. I don't care if you're teammates or not. Around a 2.66 mile track that you could run within 0.003 of a second. And quite honestly, I think their line varied a little bit on lap 1. Jamie has 6 career Sprint Cup Series wins, 3 of them on the restrictor plate racetracks, including the Daytona 500 back in 2010.
He almost had one more.
Yes,
right
he
here.
did, right here.
That's right. He lost it by
a year
inches.
ago.
See, his car looks very similar to Juan's. The back end again, kick to the left. Really see it down on that apron.
Losing a little tiny bit of time to his teammate as he comes across. 54.14, 176.8 miles an hour, and that is a 1/10 of a second slower than Montoya. Well, it's been a busy day here at Talladega. The ARCA race has already been won. Richard Childress's grandson, Ty Dillon, in victory lane. Brandon McReynolds running second with 10 to go and led the race. So it's already been a big day, and now it gets a little bigger with pole qualifying.
Yeah, you know, always it kind of bothers me sometimes when drivers say, well, we don't really have anything to do with what happens today. It's all about the car. It's all about the crew. But in fact, the driver has everything to do with what happens today. How you get off a pit road, up through the gears, getting the engine up to speed, the line you run around the racetrack, and you can't jerk on the steering wheel. One of the things you got to really work hard on, because what the guys do, and Larry knows, they take all the toe out of the car. So that makes the car want to wander just a little bit. Doesn't have any feel in the wheel. You got to really focus and concentrate, and don't be chasing the car all over the place. Hold it nice and smooth. And then, just like we saw with McMurray, dropping down on that apron. Hit it wrong, knock a little speed out of the car. So the driver's got everything to do with what happens today.
Larry, if you didn't get to make a Mach Q run yesterday, you go by your notes, or what do you do?
Well, quite honestly, with it being an impound race, you have to qualify what you race. There's just not little to anything that you can change between qualifying a race, because when they come off the track here, they go in the garage, NASCAR pulls the door down, you're done till you go to work on them in the morning to make those few changes. But I think this is one of the more interesting qualifying sessions for the go or go homers. We have 11 of them, and they can be more aggressive. So I think we'll have to get deep into this qualifying session before we see who truly is fast, because quite honestly, those 11 guys, their race is just to get in the race first.
Right. Let's get downstairs to Steve Burns.
And thank you, Mike, with Martin Truex Jr. Now, normally I'd ask him about Talladega, but are you tired of all this character building the last 2 weeks in a row? I mean, it's good to see you with a smile on your face.
Yeah, I feel like I've been a crash test dummy here in the last couple of weeks, so glad it's over with. Glad to be here at Talladega, and of course, this is a place where it's tough to finish, so hopefully the luck will turn for us and we'll be able to be around at the end of this thing. Our car's been pretty good on the super speedways here, so looking forward to the race with Napa Toyota.
All right, thanks, Martin, and good to see you smile. Let's go to Chris Devoda.
With Juan Montoya, the first guy out, so you were the test pilot. How's the wind out there today?
Here it's fine, maybe a little bit more interesting tomorrow with all the cars, but the Target Chevy is pretty good. We always got a good car here. Yesterday, this is one of those places you got what you got, you know what I mean? It's all about speed, and we did 2 laps to make sure everything ran yesterday good, and the qualifying laps, and now I guess we're ready.
We know they will be fun to watch. Teammates Montoya and McMurray just pulling in as well. Mike?
Thanks, Krista. This is Robbie Gordon's car promoting the movie Fast 5 that opens later this month with a whole lot of Dodge Chargers in it. Robbie's been out in Utah running in a Dodge Viper Invitational race, and with the bad weather yesterday, elected not to put his plane through it. So Sam Hornish is behind the wheel for practice and for qualifying. Sam has 108 starts in the Sprint Cup Series, including 5 at Talladega for the 2006 Indy winner and 3-time IndyCar champ. And he puts Robbie's car into the field with a 54.56, 175.5 miles per hour. Coming up, Terry Labonte and Casey Kane.
On a special military edition of Car Warriors, the All-Stars take on the Air Force, and it's all-out chaos as the deadline is cut in half.
I just don't know how we're going to pull this off.
Wednesday on an all-new Car Warriors, followed by Car Science, only on Speed.
Bell helmets, mongoose elbow pads, a pillow pet, and cotton balls.
You're doing great. Guys, come on. She's not that bad of a driver.
Only Walmart has low prices every day on everything you need, backed by our ad match guarantee. Save money, live better. Walmart.
Millions of Americans live.
Get a season of fun for the price of one day. Pay one full-priced admission and get an entire season of fun for free. Purchase your season pass today. Offer good for a limited time. Now you have the chance to win a season of fun when you visit recroom.com and enter California's Great America Fun and Only Season Pass giveaway. Win season passes for your family, $100 in gift cards, and a flip video. California's Great America is open Wednesday through Sunday for spring break.
People say I have the voice of an angel. Not because, but because I have Xfinity, the voice service with the best call clarity. I get caller ID on my TV and my PC, and I can check my voicemail online.
And you're saving money.
Get Xfinity Voice with unlimited nationwide calling for $19.99 a month for 12 months. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your current number. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
That's the only song they know.
David Reagan and teammate Carl Edwards talk it over with car owner Jack Roush. Dale Jr. gets ready to roll. There have been 83 Sprint Cup races at Talladega. Terry Labonte has been in 53 of them. 1 pole, 2 victories, and 23 top 10s here. It's the most among active drivers in top 5s and top 10s. 1 start in 2011, he finished 15th in the Daytona 500.
Yeah, 870 career starts in Sprint Cup, and I think we tend to forget sometimes that Terry Labonte is a 2-time champion in our series.
Yeah, won it once for Billy Hagan and once for Rick Hendrick.
He's completed 100% of the laps he's run this year.
All 200.
That's right.
55.53 on the first lap. A little quicker than Hornish, not as fast as Montoya or McMurray. Driving Frank Stoddard's C&J Energy Services. Number 32.
Darrell, I think you were really focused one time here on keeping him from winning a race, and somebody else snuck up in the picture, didn't they?
That's what, they talk about this place being haunted, and I'm pretty sure that day there was a ghost car that came out of nowhere. But Ron Bouchard, what a great job he did driving the Race Hill Farms car, number 47. I got Labonte I'm running him all over the racetrack, and I got him up against the wall and everywhere else. I got this thing, man. I'm going to beat him. Now I'm looking to my right. I should have been looking to my left.
All right, Labonte 4th of 4 at a 54.94. Steve?
Mike with Dale Earnhardt Jr. now over the next 2 races, Talladega and Richmond. Dale Jr. has 8 wins, including 5 here at Talladega. Things are off to a really nice start for you guys in the 88 car.
Yeah, we're doing good. Real happy. NASCAR and Chevrolet's been, I don't know, pretty decent this weekend. We didn't ran many laps, but we've been running good the last several weeks, just trying to step it up another notch and get some even better finishes for the fans. And this is a good track for us, so why not this weekend?
Your race car's leaving. We'll let you get in it.
Be sure to join Steve Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern for NASCAR Race Hub. Tuesday evening, on Tuesday's show, we'll reveal the next 25 nominees for the NASCAR Hall of Fame class of 2012. That will happen on Race Hub Tuesday. So Monday through Thursday, 7 Eastern on Speed.
A little earlier than normal, but it's because that the induction will be in January next year, right, Mike?
That's correct. They've moved the timeline for the Hall of Fame. So this year's induction is in May, and beginning next year, it will happen in January during the media tour, NASCAR media tour.
Which makes a lot of sense, because remember back in the day we used to go down to Winston-Salem for the premiere that we had every year when R.J. Reynolds would have that big show, bring all the cars and the drivers in, so it could turn into something like that.
Kasey Kahne has been to Talladega 14 times. He started 9th here in 2007 and has finished 2nd here twice. Those were his only 2 top 10 finishes, though, in 14 starts here. Finished 21st last spring in the number 9 and 26th driving one of the Red Bull cars in the fall race.
I know I've mentioned it a number of times, but I just feel confident that this car and this driver, this crew chief, this team can win a race this year. Casey's that good. Kenny Francis, they got the resources. Somewhere down the road here, that 4 car will be in victory lane.
Now Kahne was 31st in practice. His teammate Brian Vickers was 16th fastest among the cars locked into the field. So now 55.20 on the first lap. That is about 3/10 slower than Montoya and McMurray, but look at the pace on lap 2 here.
It's about the 3rd quickest first lap of our 5 drivers that's been out so far. It's amazing when you watch this right here, though, at this racetrack. You don't see the miles per hour change a whole lot, and you don't see the RPM change a whole lot. Of course, you're running around here wide open.
Yeah, that's one of the things you really pay attention to when you're practicing, and particularly is how much RPM am I dropping in the corners, because that'll tell you if the car is freed up enough to get a nice fast lap.
Obviously, the double yellow line rule does not apply during qualifying. And Kahne is 3rd fastest with a 54.31, 176.3. Martin Truex and Dale Jr. next.
Camping World and Good Sam. One great company with a complete offering of everything RV under one roof. We provide new and used RVs, rentals, accessories, service, collision repair, financing, roadside assistance, warranties, insurance, and exclusive club membership, and much more. With 75 locations, Camping World and Good Sam will bring you peace of mind mile after mile. What are you waiting for? Get outside. But first, come experience the all-new Camping World and Good Sam, united to serve all of your RV and outdoor needs.
Speed training. It's how Advanced Auto Parts trains our staff to get you the right part even faster. Not bad. The parts you need, even faster. Advanced Auto Parts. Service is our best part. Next!
And for you, the chef has prepared something really special. I think you're really gonna like this. There you go. Oh, have you tried ProGlide? You gotta be kidding me. Yo. Have you tried ProGlide? No. No, I haven't. What, are you crazy? Hey, turn shaving into gliding. You gotta try it. Danny, is that tiramisu?
It's your turn to take the ProGlide challenge. Go to youtube.com/ProGlide.
So what are you waiting for? Nothing now.
Well, I know one thing about marketing. The more logos you put in one place, the better.
True, but having something unique is better.
Check it out.
The Shell nitrogen-enriched cleaning system acts as a barrier to help protect critical engine parts against performance-robbing gunk.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 grades of Shell gasoline are nitrogen-enriched, too.
All 3 grades.
What? He's good.
Don't touch the brakes. We'll explain that in a minute as Carl Edwards climbs aboard. He is 3 drivers away from making his qualifying run. Martin Truex in the Napa Toyota on track. He has the 3rd fastest first lap of the day so far, but it looks right now like he may slot in behind the 2 Ganassi cars, Montoya and McMurray. Martin's best start here was 3rd in 09.
I tell you what, when you come off of turn 4 and you're looking for that start finish line, you don't think you're ever going to get down there to it.
54.26 for Martin, 76.5. He is 3rd quickest. Steve?
Hey, we were just talking to Carl Edwards, and this is what's left of do not touch the brakes. Why did you crumple this up, Carl?
They tie the brakes back, and I always get in the car, and first thing I do is push the brake pedal. So if you ever walk up to my car at a speedway, they've always got do not touch the brakes on everything. And then about 4 people tell me before I get in the car, don't touch the brakes. So I haven't touched the brakes. I don't plan on touching them here for a little while.
Just in case you forget, right?
Yeah, right. They I gotta be careful. They'll have it on the inside of my helmet shield and all that. But I think we're okay. You know, I think that we're going to race really well. I'm looking at the 21 car there, Trevor's, and he's going out before us. And he, you know, him and I worked well in practice, so I'm ready to go. It's going to be a good race.
Hey, Carl, don't touch the brakes.
Yeah, here, stick this right here.
Thanks, Steve. Right there. You know, only 2 of the Fords practiced in the top 20, Allmendinger and Gilliland. Dale Earnhardt Jr., the Pied Piper of Talladega, 5 victories here, 3rd all time. Let's have a look at his season so far. Best finish 2nd at Martinsville. Led the race late. 6th in the Sprint Cup standings for the 3rd generation driver out of Kannapolis, North Carolina. There was a time when he was unbeatable here. 4 victories in a row in the Sprint Cup Series. Back, well, if that string started about a decade ago. And there's a legion of fans that are sure he can still do it.
I thought that was pretty interesting what he said when we interviewed him. Win one for the fans. You know, and he knows that every fan down here this weekend they'd all be cheering and screaming if he could.
Well, his dad, Dale Earnhardt Sr., won here 10 times.
As a matter of fact, his last win came here.
Yes.
Junior has 5 wins and 3 seconds here. He's 3rd on this track's all-time Sprint Cup win list behind his dad, and Jeff Gordon was 6.
But I tell you one thing, he's not a real big fan of the 2-car draft. He's not crazy about that.
And that first lap is the fastest so far at a 54.75.
And I think because Daytona and Talladega have a lot of similarities now, and mainly because the surface is very smooth and has a lot of grip, you would tend to believe the drivers that were good at Daytona would run well here. As we well know, he did sit on the pole for the Daytona 500.
Now, when the number 7 went out, Robbie Gordon tweeted, "Junior," and then quickly followed it up with Sam Hornish Jr., who right now sits 5th.
He's going to be about a 1/10 and a half quicker than Montoya, it appears, just looking at the little blue box down there.
Well, he'll go to the top of the chart. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the National Guard Chevrolet, 53.86, 177.76 miles an hour. Krista?
Casey Kane out of his race car, and when we were in Daytona, you and Brian Vickers, especially in practices, you guys were the ones, the drafting partners everyone wanted. Do you feel like you have something special for tomorrow?
I hope so. I hope things run as well as they did at Daytona. There was times at Daytona I felt like we were really good, and I think we just qualified a little bit better than, you know, compared to say the 42 and the 1 that we were at Daytona. So to be a little better tomorrow, hopefully everything goes our way and we have a chance. But it's going to be an interesting race.
It always is at the plate tracks. Thanks, Casey.
Thanks, Krista. New colors for the Wood brothers this week. Trevor Bayne, the Good Sam Club, on the sides and hood of the 21. But back to Daytona. And the improbable but highly exciting Daytona 500 victory, and then rough sledding since. Phoenix, you saw there. And the Wood brothers have announced they're going to run the Sprint All-Star race. They've added that to their schedule, and they added this race to the schedule after picking up this sponsorship here.
That's a very nice likeness of Trevor on the hood of the car there.
It has that smile.
Got that big smile, baby.
You know, I think we've said it and said it. He's just a good all-around kid, someone you enjoy being around. And he's actually made a couple of trips to Mexico and has spent weeks there working in an orphanage a couple of times. Just a great guy.
Yeah, I met one of his teachers not too long ago, and she said, DW, what you see is what you get. Nothing fake about this kid. He's been this way ever since he's been around.
Honest up front and just full of enthusiasm. He really lights up the garage area. It's pretty neat to see.
You know what will also be neat to see is it was noted a few weeks ago that they may not run the Sprint All-Star race coming up in a few weeks, but they now have sponsorship. They will be there at Charlotte Motor Speedway in May.
First lap for Bain, and truth be told, the Fords didn't set the world on fire in practice here. Most of them are 20th and lower. 54.73. That is the fastest first lap so far.
This car was fast. Not this car. This team and this driver were fast. The car he had at Daytona is in Daytona, USA right now, but they've got a pretty nice piece here, it looks like.
And this is a brand new race car. They get their cars from Roush Fenway, and because this was another race that was not on their original schedule, this all came together pretty quick.
Every Georgia schoolboy knows the numbers 2:12.809. That is Bill Elliott's track record here back in the pre-restrictor plate days. We're on pace here where we might have the slowest Talladega pole in history, and by a wide margin. Montoya's pole last October 184.6, and we're within about 6 or 7 miles an hour of that as Bain crosses the stripe second with a 53.99, 177.3. Dale Jr. is fastest of the 8 drivers who have run so far. Sprint brings you an inside look at what's happening now inside the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Your point leader, Carl Edwards. For more NASCAR stats, in-car audio, and live race radio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile at sprint.com/speed. Krista.
As you said, Mike, Dale Jr. currently the fastest, but did I hear you right on the radio? You said that was an ugly feeling lap. Why so?
I don't know. Through the corners and through the tribal, the car kind of moved around a little bit, and I was chasing it all over the place. Probably not doing the best job on my end, but everything else worked good. so wonder if anybody will break the 180 mile per hour barrier today. So we'll see.
So for now, you're going to take that for sure.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. 178, 179 don't seem too good. So we'll see.
All right. Thanks, Junior.
Remember, the restrictor plate is smaller than it was at Daytona.
178, 179 would be real good right now.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
Because he's at 177.
Carl Edwards has taken over the lead in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Came out of the box at Daytona on the back bumper of Trevor Bain. Picked up a victory there in Las Vegas. Got to do his trademark victory backflip. And here we are at Talladega, where Edwards was 27th among the top 35 in owner points in practice.
I feel like we should go ahead and put a little more explanation on this don't touch the brake pedal. The only 2 places you do this would be qualifying at Daytona or Talladega. 2 racetracks, as I noted a while ago, where you're pretty much wide open all the way around this racetrack. Well, even if your foot's not on the brake pedal, when you're riding around, the rear pads are touching the rotors just enough to cause a little bit of drag. Mike, you talked about the carburetor restrictor plate. A little bit is a lot. So what they do is they just push those pads back enough to where there's no drag whatsoever on any of the 4 wheels, and it truly helps the horsepower, the rotating weight.
Sure, because as soon as you push that brake pedal, then the pads will drag on the rotors all the way around from that point on.
Yeah, I guarantee you, if we were monitoring every crew chief right now, when they take the checkered flag, their first words are, pump the brake pedal up.
First lap for Carl, 55.05. That is the 5th fastest first lap of the 9 drivers so far.
Yeah, and I think Carl was probably pretty encouraged by Trevor's lap, Trevor Bayne, the 21 car, because they had run together quite a bit, and Carl felt like his car was maybe as good as the 21.
You know, I'm really anxious when Kyle Busch in the 18 car goes out to qualify where he's going to run. We watched him in the NS car yesterday qualifying. He ran the apron the entire distance around the racetrack.
54.10 for Carl Edwards. He is 4th.
In today's cars, there's self-adjusting cylinders, self-activating wipers, even self-deploying spoilers. Why not a self-cleaning engine? Next generation Pennzoil cleans out up to 40% of engine sludge. Sludge that lesser oils can leave behind. Feel the clean and turn your engine into a self-cleaning engine. Visit Pennzoil.com for a chance to win a trip to Memorial Day's 2 biggest races.
Only Polaris delivers the ultimate combination of power, suspension, and agility. The only trail-capable side-by-side, Ranger RZR. The only sport performance side-by-side, RZR S. The only 4-seat sport, RZR 4. And the only extreme performance side-by-side, the 88 horsepower RZR XP. Razor sharp performance only from Polaris. Huge rebates and low financing are available right now during the Polaris XP sales event.
It's time to take matters into your own hands. AutoZone's got the advice and expertise you need to take on any job, because do it yourself doesn't mean you have to do it alone. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
150 kilos.
For this car, there's only one way to protect and serve.
You gotta do whatever you gotta do.
Don't ask questions, just go. Ray Liotta in Street Kings 2 on Blu-ray and DVD.
Once Dave and his friends experienced the bone-rattling intensity of NASCAR, they knew it was time to reconfigure his surround sound.
All right, guys, here it comes.
15,000 watts later, they realized that if everything was more like NASCAR, everything would be more awesome.
Richard Childress had reason to celebrate here at Talladega earlier. His grandson won the ARCA race. He's got 4 bullets in his gun to try to win the pole today.
Interesting listening to those guys on the radio talking to Ty, though. Man, Billy O'Day, he was driving for a while, and then Richard drove for a while, and then Mike Dillon drove for a while. Ty got to drive every now and then.
on the radio, you mean?
On the radio.
David Reagan, 2 weeks in a row, the fastest in practice. Last week, the pole sitter in the UPS Ford. 54.71 is his first lap, and that is quickest first lap, that is. 8 Talladega starts. He started 6th here in this race 3 years ago and finished 3rd here that October.
Good little restrictor plate racer.
Won a nationwide race here.
Yes, sir.
That was his last top 5 finish in Sprint Cup, was that 3rd place finish you talked about back in October of 2008.
Got a solid top 10 last week and puts his Ford up to 2nd with a 53.96 over 177 miles an hour. Krista?
With Trevor Bayne, who was just knocked off that 2nd spot by David Reagan, but it's another Ford. But I wanted to ask you, it was only 2 months ago when your life changed forever. What have the last couple months? We come back here, I would imagine you don't have to do as much begging for drafting partners now.
No, it's been a little different. Now we've got people kind of asking us if they can be on our radio channel. So it's totally different, but we've got a good race car. I was kind of worried about our best car being in the Daytona Museum, but this one seems to be pretty fast too. We didn't do any single car runs yesterday, so we didn't know what we'd have in qualifying, but drafting, I think we got a really good hot rod. Talking to David Reagan earlier and Carl Edwards, some other Ford guys, Marcus Ambrose, and hopefully we can find one of them and go to the front again. If David and I qualify beside each other, that'd be really good for us, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and Mike, he's already liking that 6 right up there with him, that's for sure.
Thanks, Krista. Tomorrow, Speed's Ultimate Pre-Race Show hits the high banks. Keselowski, Boyer, and point leader Edwards on the show live. And a look at the importance of the driver-spotter relationship on super speedways, all part of NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot, tomorrow 10 Eastern, live on Speed. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Mike, we left the driver service announcement here from Carl. Greg, actually some good big news for you and Roush Fenway Racing in regards to the business side of it.
Yeah, it is. We got, we were going to have an announcement today, but the ARCA race with all the rain, we've got it postponed till tomorrow morning, so we're excited about it. But more importantly, that tape that you have on there, I learned at Daytona they put it on there. Normally they put it on the steering wheel. Well, they put it over top of the tack. And so when I left pit road, I looked down to get my shift points, and all I saw was a big orange thing that says "Don't touch the brakes." So it made it challenging qualifying, not knowing the RPM to shift at. So I just kind of did it by ear like the old days, I guess, and it worked out for us. But I just reminded me of that. I'm going to check and make sure I don't have the tack taped off.
Well, congratulations on the sponsorship announcement at 3M. That's a big deal.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve, and thanks for providing that public service for the drivers who have yet to qualify. No brakes. Don't touch those brakes. Marcus Ambrose with Walt Stanley Ford, making his 5th trip to Talladega. First time he was here, he finished 4th.
He has definitely been feast or famine. He has that 4th place finish in the other 3 races, finished 34th or worse, obviously because of being caught up in accidents. First lap 54.98, not quite as quick as some of his other Ford comrades.
I watch these cars go around the racetrack and that back end of the car kicked over to the left like that. We used to do it with the bodies. NASCAR, had templates and you could move the body around, move the back of the body around. That costs a lot of money. So they made us quit doing that. Now we do it with rear end housing. Guess what? That costs a lot of money too.
Yes. Ambrose comes to the flag and puts his Ford 7th so far at a 54.23. Casey Mears and Matt Kenseth next.
A race at Richmond International Raceway isn't like other races. Because you don't attend a race at Richmond, you feel it, you experience it, you live it. At Richmond, you arrive as a spectator, but you go home a believer. Welcome to Richmond. Welcome to racing perfection. Tickets start at $45 for the Matthew and Daniel Hansen 400, Saturday, April 30th. Call 866-455-RACE or visit RIR.com.
Wonder where the Durango's been for the last 2 years? It toured around Europe getting handling and steering lessons on those sporty European roads. It went back to school, got an advanced degree in technology. It's been working out, more muscle and less fat. It's done more in 2 years than most cars do in a lifetime.
Now lease the all-new 2011 Dodge Durango all-wheel drive Express for $359 a month for well-qualified lessees.
Hi, I'm Otto Williams from Money Move.
To do, look at bill from phone company.
Reminder, find out how much we pay for phone and internet.
Note to self, cut out slow DSL.
Highest priority, look at bill, see what we can save.
First thing, pay less, get more.
We switched.
We switched. We switched.
To Comcast Business Class.
Fast internet.
Better phone.
Cloud services from Microsoft. Great deal.
You can't save if you don't look. Call Comcast Business Class at 1-800-391-3000 today.
Some car had the gear selector for the automatic transmission in the steering wheel hub. This is a little different. We'll investigate further and report. Casey Mears is on track in the Geico Toyota and takes the white flag at 55.50. 172.5 miles an hour. Mears making his 16th Talladega start, has one start on the front row and a best finish here of 6th.
Talked to Booty Barker, his crew chief, yesterday, and he said, you know when our qualifying started for Talladega? I said, when, Booty? He said, when we finished the race at Texas. Because of their finish, it put them back in the top 35 in owner points. They were outside headed into Texas, and he said that's huge when you come here because of the impact.
And the difference between the ins and the outs right now is only 4 points.
Tight.
Very.
And that will stay that way all year long.
Second lap for the third generation driver from Bakersfield. 54.94. That's 11th of 12 for Casey Mears. Krista?
David Reagan currently second quick. And David, you know, there's that phrase, you have to lose one to win one. So after that almost win in Daytona, do you come back to Talladega hungrier than ever?
Yeah, everyone wants to keep talking about that, right?
Sorry.
Yeah, I've kind of forgot about it. Yeah, I mean, we always expect to run well at the super speedway tracks. Everyone back home at our race team and the Roush Fenway shops and the engine shops, they get so pumped up for this weekend because it's all about fine-tuning your race car. So our UPS team did a nice job. That was a pretty good lap. We didn't really know what to expect, but we just want to be in contention. If we're in contention for a win, anything can happen, and obviously, you know, that top 5, top 10 guys coming to the checkered flag, we'd have some fun.
All right, I know there's going to be a lot of guys who want to draft with David Reagan. Steve?
Well, Krista, all weekend we've been talking about radio communications. Paul Menard has a Momo steering wheel. Another friendly reminder, no brakes. Now, right here in the middle, you see 27. That's Paul's number. 29, Kevin Harvick. 31, Jeff Burton. 33, Clint Boyer, his teammates. And then on the corresponding switch right here, he knows that's 27, 29, 31, and 33. So he just has to do it one click, and that's how he knows how to find it. They will have, obviously, more frequencies in for Sunday, but that's what he's been using for practice thus far.
Pretty cool. Sounds like all he needs now is a seek and a scan button. Kevin Harvick, similar setup.
Not as sophisticated as Paul Menard and his teammates.
Matt Kenseth will be the 13th driver to go on track. Matt comes in here third in the standings. And he has his own patented victory move. And it's to come off turn 4 on the cool down lap and do that big long slide through the grass. And he's got to do it once this season for starters. So here's the Crown Royal Black Ford Fusion from Roush Fenway. Best of his teammates right now is David Reagan, second at a 53.96.
You know what says a lot about already what type of a season Matt Kenseth is having in this 17 car? You look at 7 races. Go back to Texas. He led 169 laps. Matt only led 108 laps total in 2010. Has that big win in the 2009 Daytona 500 back a couple of years ago.
Looking for his first top 15 finish in the last 7 Talladega races. He does have 3 top 5s here earlier in his career.
It was just an okay first lap. Puts him 8th on lap 2.
54.24. 176.5. Bobby Labonte, Greg Biffle next.
Home sweet home. This is how we do it.
You're going down, Toretto.
Big mistake.
Fast and Furious 5. Rated PG-13. In theaters and IMAX April 29th.
Everyone on my team always wants something different for dinner, and I am not a short order cook. That's why we're headed to CC's Pizza for their $4.99 endless buffet. The variety is unbelievable. I know I can finally relax when I hear.
Hi, welcome to CC's.
Yeah.
Hi, can I borrow some milk?
Yeah. Just a second.
Just for Men. In 5 easy minutes, targets only the gray.
Anything else?
Pancakes?
Just for Men. Live forward.
My feet are killing me.
Well, we're here to get you custom orthotic inserts.
We can't afford that.
Yes, we can.
Dr. Scholl's Custom Fit Orthotic Center. Foot care scientists are behind it.
You have flat feet.
No way.
Way.
Orthotic 440 is recommended.
It recommends the custom fit orthotic insert that's best for your feet.
You'll get all-day relief.
For your tired, achy feet.
And you could save a couple $100.
Sweet. This is great.
Dr. Scholl's Custom Fit Orthotic Center.
Who are you talking to?
For locations, see drscholls.com.
Truth is, if you don't have your motorcycle insurance where you have your car insurance, you're paying too much. At Allstate, when you combine, you save up to 30%. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects the rider better than Allstate.
Are you ready to take your family on a little spring break of its own? Then you belong at Bass Pro Shops for the spring fishing sale. Plus, starting this weekend, bring the kids for a free picture with the Easter Bunny and check out the free crafts and Easter egg hunt. Details at basspro.com/Easter.
This spring, get more mileage out of your travel plans with $50 in free gas. Stay 2 separate times at Quality or any of these choice hotels, and you can earn a free $50 gas card. Book now only at choicehotels.com.
36 trips to Talladega for Bobby Labonte, who won here from the pole for Joe Gibbs in 1998. Now in the Bush's Baked Beans Kingsford Charcoal number 47 Camry. First lap 54.86. That's top 8 or so material.
A highlight of his season so far, that top 5 finish in the Daytona 500, came home 4th. 47 car.
He's going to be the fastest Toyota so far. 5th for Labonte, 54.06. 177 miles an hour.
Good job. That's P5 right there. I had you at a 54.0.
Steve?
Now, you'd think Clint Boyer might get a little more respect from his team here. He actually won the race here at the end of the season. You know, Carl got this friendly reminder. Clint, that's kind of a lack of respect.
That's a huge lack of respect. Check that out.
Brakes back dummy?
I guess I won't forget to not hit the brakes, but you know, it's just important to get every ounce out of it. We have a lot of fun with our team. The BB&T Chevrolet's fast. Same hot rod that got the job done last time. Hopefully she can do it again for us.
Hey, you need to talk to those guys.
I'm gonna get after them right now.
All right, go get them.
Way to go.
You know, you talk about a fellow who's living the dream, and there's one right there. Clint Boyer came out of the Midwest, worked in a body shop, ran dirt cars. Richard Childress called, and since then he has been living the dream and fully enjoying it.
He would have fit in back in the old days.
Oh yes.
You know, he's kind of one of those kind of drivers that likes to have fun. He's always up to something. Reminds you of some of the guys from there, maybe Curtis Turner, Joe Weatherly, some of those guys.
Yeah, Clint still spends almost every single day at his own dirt track shop, dirt car shop that's right there on the Richard Childress Racing campus, working on his dirt cars.
I think I have it figured out here. The cryptic message on the nose of Greg Biffle's car. 3 for 3 more years. I think the 3 are 3M, their sponsor, Greg Biffle, Roush Fenway Racing. Haven't seen a press release yet, but that's my guess.
Good job.
Well, maybe haven't seen the press release on the 3M part, but it was advertised and put out there earlier in the week that Greg Biffle has signed his contract extension with Roush Fenway.
I like the power of logic deduction.
Especially when it's right. And often it's not. But for now, we'll take it. Greg Biffle has one outside pole here and a pair of top 10 finishes coming in both races here in 2009.
You know, I watched an interview with Greg Biffle actually on Steve Burns' Race Hub a few weeks ago. And, you know, I had somewhat forgotten what he's accomplished. You know, he won the championship of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. He won the championship in the NNS. And he really would love more than anything to become the first driver in the history of NASCAR to sweep the 3 championships.
Sure.
You know, he came close a few years ago, but he also said, you know, I know that my clock is running out. I don't have that many more years that I'm going to be driving the Sprint Cup Series.
Pretty good first lap, 54.73, right in there with some of the better ones.
His teammate David Reagan right now has the fastest first lap. Of course, David's second at a 54.71 on lap 1.
Scotch Blue is that masking tape that when you peel it, doesn't peel the paint off with it and make a mess of the fine line you've been trying to get there. So that's on Biffle's car as he runs a fine line, and he's up on the right side of the yellow line instead of down on the track apron, and gets rewarded with a 54.07. He is the 3rd fastest Ford so far. Friday night, the Music City will be rocked by Todd Bodine, Ron Hornaday, Timothy Peters, and the rest of the world's toughest truck racers. Battling on the concrete, NASCAR Camping World Truck Series from Nashville Superspeedway, Friday, 7:30 Eastern.
I will be there with the boys.
Cool.
I'm going over. I mean, it's in my backyard. How can I not go?
That's right. Steve?
And Mike caught up with Jeff Gordon, who's just having a laugh with his teammate. And Jeff, you know, I was looking at the record. We tend to forget 12 restrictor plate wins. I shouldn't say we, I do, for you, and 6 of them here at Talladega.
I mean, no doubt the restrictor plates have been good to us over the years. You know, it's a lot different now with this car and this 2-car drafting. It takes a totally different type of mentality and strategy and you know, just the way you go about the art of drafting is unique and different. But I still think, you know, based on what we saw in Daytona, what we saw in practice here, this drive-in Hunger Chevrolet has a great shot at it. You know, we just got to be there at the end when it counts, and that's what we haven't done a good job at on the restrictor plates in recent you know, races. But I don't know. First, we're just gonna find out what we're gonna qualify. If we didn't make any qualifying runs, we have no idea what we're gonna run.
You don't need this reminder, do you?
No. But
well, Clint's team.
I do need it when I get like to turn 4, because I usually forget that, you know, the brake pedal is not going to work for about a half a straightaway.
Well, Clint's team, the 33, said brakes back dummy. That's kind of harsh.
Well, that's Boyer though, you know.
Okay, gotcha.
You got to clarify things for him a little bit more than most guys.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
There's a lot more to that story, but it's between those 2 drivers, Boyer and Gordon. They've got it going on and have a lot of fun with it. Regan Smith continues to have the best average start of all drivers in the field. So here's the Furniture Row Chevrolet, which was 20th fastest in practice. See if he can pick it up and uphold that average.
But I think going back to Gordon and Boyer, I think we can tell the real quick version of this story. You know, we go back to the Gatorade Dual races on Thursday at Daytona. Jeff Gordon said he looked at the lineup, and the only thing he really saw that caught his eye was those 2 Childress teammates of Burton and Boyer. He had no Hendrick teammate. So he said he saw him in the drivers meeting on Thursday morning, Boyer and Burton just talking to each other. So he said, you know, I'm going to go over here and talk to him. I walked up to him. I said, okay, are y'all going to hang me out to dry at the green flag, or are you going to wait a few laps to hang me out to dry? Burton said, we're going to do it right at the green flag.
Yeah, get ready. Well, here's a guy right here that, you know, think back to a couple of years ago. If it weren't for that yellow line and getting down on that thing coming to get the checkered flag, he'd be looking at a Talladega win.
Yep. Instead, he was down there. Right about
there.
where he is right now. Yep. And Tony Stewart got the win. Regan Smith, 7th quickest with a 54.08. David Rudiman and Clint Boyer next.
NASCAR race day hits the high banks of Talladega. Boyer, Kozlowski, and Edwards join us live. Plus, we'll examine the importance of spotters at super speedways. NASCAR race day built by the Home Depot. Sunday at 10 Eastern, live on Speed.
And for you, the chef has prepared something really special.
I think you're really gonna like this.
There you go. Have you tried ProGlide?
You gotta be kidding me.
Have you tried ProGlide?
No. No, I haven't.
What are you, crazy?
Hey, turn shaving into gliding. You gotta try it.
Danny, is that tiramisu?
It's your turn to take the ProGlide challenge. Go to youtube.com/ProGlide.
So what are you waiting for?
Nothing now.
It's tough to run with congestion. So I'm taking charge with Claritin D. It relieves even my worst allergy symptoms. Nothing works stronger, faster, or longer for nasal congestion and sinus pressure without drowsiness. I only live Claritin Clear with Claritin D.
Neighbors! It's time to stop wasting our weekend going back and forth to some home improvement warehouse. Look at us. We shouldn't need a GPS to find the fertilizer. We should go to Ace. They can help us find what we need in one trip. Then we can spend our weekends doing weekend things.
It's time to get your weekend back and turn your to-do list into a to-done list. Ace, the helpful place.
Nobody wants to worry about how their children would get by without them. Allstate wants you to worry about it a whole lot less. Talk to an Allstate agent about life insurance. Are you in good hands?
Introducing a renewable energy solution that will forge new opportunities for the American worker, as well as advance our nation's energy independence. American ethanol. From America's cornfields to America's racetracks. It's a brand new race day.
The 17th driver to take time, David Rudiman in the Aaron's Toyota. First lap, 54.63.
Pretty darn good.
And
right
that
there.
is the fastest first lap so far.
Yep.
At 175.2.
Of course, that first lap can be very deceiving. If you run up very, very high, right up next to the wall like these guys normally do, your first lap's going to be a little slower, and maybe you'll pick up a little more on the second lap. So depending on where you run on the coming to get the green and how you run that first lap.
Rudy finished 4th here in October, his best and only top 10 finish at Talladega in 8 starts.
He actually lost a little ground through 3 and 4. He went from being about a 10th off of Dale Earnhardt Jr. to almost 2 tenths. Up about 2 tenths behind that 88 car of Junior.
Well, if you look at the American flag down in turn 4, Larry, it's rolling right off of turn 4. So if you're going to lose speed, it's probably going to be when you turn the car into that headwind right there. You can see it's pretty strong.
54.05 for Rudiman. He is 5th. Steve?
The first order of business for A.J. Allmendinger, of course, is qualifying, but yesterday he got a little warm up in addition to that first practice playing NASCAR 2011, the game. How did you fare?
It's pretty realistic. We were racing at Talladega and I wrecked. So glad they made the game exactly like real life. So yeah, it was a good time. I've always had a question with whoever designed the game cover, because the game cover is designed at Bristol, and my car is running the apron down there. If you look at the game cover, I'm on the apron at Bristol under everybody. I wondered, what the heck?
Why would you be down there?
Of course, I realized I also suck at Bristol, so maybe that's a line I need to try when I go back there in August. So it was a fun time. Obviously I'm a video game guy, being sponsored by the best sponsor for that. So it's a lot of fun, and like I said, yeah, I went to Talladega, worked in some lines, wrecked. So I was like, yeah, that's dead on.
But you're okay. No, there was no damage to the car or A.J. Allmendinger.
You know, it's always funny when you play video games, because I used to do a lot of online racing, and you get all the guys that would be like, hey, is this exactly like real life? And I used to say, yeah, except when you wreck, you get to hit the reset button. I said, if you want to make it realistic, put your head next to the closest wall in your house. When you wreck, slam it against it, then it's like real life. It was a good time. So Best Buy Ford, we're ready to go for qualifying here. Exciting.
All right, man,
Exciting.
Go get them.
Yeah.
Oh, don't touch the brakes.
Don't touch them. Oh, see, that's been my problem. I usually like to drag them before I go out there. I'm a little scared, so yeah.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's good advice for playing video games. The other advice I heard is to make it really realistic, you also have to be the car owner, and when you hit the wall, throw a stack of $100 bills in the fireplace.
But you got to love Steve Burns. He's having more fun with a piece of tape that was balled up in a ball about 30 minutes ago.
Multitasking. Clint Boyer, the BB&T Chevrolet. This is the first of the Richard Childress cars. Boyer was 18th in practice, right in the middle of the top 35. Who can forget last fall when he started outside pole and notched the victory here?
Had a great run in the Daytona 500, led 31 laps, got caught up in a crash with less than 5 laps to go.
But he's finished in the top 10 in the last 3 races.
Pretty nice run we got going here, too. He's moving up just a little wee bit there. Pretty nice first lap, 54.81. Car looks good, nice and smooth.
You know, we talk about the Earnhardt-Childress engine package. We know their streak of restrictor plate wins came to an end in the Daytona 500 with Trevor Bayne, but they swept all 4 restrictor plate races in 2010.
And Larry, his car did just same thing. When it got its nose out into the wind on turn 4 there, it lost a little bit of speed.
Third for Boyer. Second quickest Chevrolet, 53.99. And here's Steve.
And his car owner, Richard Childress, was just clocking that lap by Clint. And how proud are you as a grandfather of what Ty Dillon did this morning, I should say?
Yeah, I mean, you can't say how it's a great feeling to be a grandfather and watch either one, him or Austin, win. And to win at Talladega and to watch that move at the end reminded me of somebody else making that move here before. And Ty told me, he said, I've watched him do it enough. I knew it's time, when the spotter hollered goes. So couldn't be more prouder of him, that whole team. Hopefully we can find him some sponsorship. He's won 3 out of 5 of those things. So get him some sponsors and we'll get him on up the truck and some other stuff.
Congratulations, Richard. Nice moment.
Thank you.
18-year-old high school senior at Forsyth Country Day outside Winston-Salem, following in his older brother's footsteps. I'd say the family business is in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I'd say RCR driver development is doing real well.
Right.
It's developing very nicely.
And they didn't have to look very far for candidates. They all live in Mike Dillon's house.
And then you think about it, this track opened in 1969. Richard Childress drove in those first few Talladega races. I think we forget that Richard was a race car driver before he became an owner. Well, he owned those cars too,
yes,
but before he became an owner and not doing the driving.
Brian Vickers will be the 19th driver to take time, 16th fastest in practice for the Red Bull Toyota. Vickers has a win here. That's another one. How can you forget when he and Jimmy Johnson dueled and Vickers swept across Johnson's back bumper. Jimmy ended up spinning and Brian ended up in victory lane. They were teammates at the time.
Teammates, that's exactly right.
He has a best start here of 3rd, part of 4 straight top 10 starts that began in 2006.
He's rim riding this first lap right up next to that wall. He'll start to work the car to the bottom as he comes to the tri-oval and heading for the white flag.
Now, a little like the Childresses, the Vickers also have a very prominent racing business started by his dad. CV Products supplies an awful lot of parts and equipment to racers all the way from local short tracks around America right up to the Sprint Cup Series.
Now let's see what happens when he turns off into turn 3, because if you look at the tracker right here, and also his first lap was about 3.5 tenths quicker than his teammate Casey Kane's first lap.
Yeah, this is a good run.
Saw it slide back just 1 spot there as he did make that turn off into turn 3, but he didn't lose as much as we've seen the last couple of 3 drivers lose.
That wind has really gotten a little stronger off of turn 4 there, and it's affecting these cars quite a bit.
Vickers to the stripe, completing his run. And he'll be 3rd with a 53.98. Just about 1/10 off Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s present pole speed. Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, teammates up next.
In 35 days.
Have you ever?
No, I have never.
Don't miss the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race live on Speed.
Ready? Ready? Green flag, green, green.
150 kilos.
For this car, there's only one way to protect and serve.
You gotta do whatever you gotta do.
Don't ask questions, just go. Ray Liotta in Street Kings 2 on Blu-ray and DVD.
Experiments fail. Technologies fail. Failure is part of life. Fram filters are tested beyond any conditions you'll ever encounter to help make sure failure is not part of your engine's life. Fram, don't fail your engine.
Amanda had 3,000.
Get a season of fun for the price of one day. Pay one full-priced admission and get an entire season of fun for free. Purchase your season pass today. Offer good for a limited time. Now you have the chance to win a season of fun when you visit recroom.com and enter California's Great America Fun and Only Season Pass giveaway. Win season passes for your family, $100 in gift cards, and a flip video. California's Great America is open Wednesday through Sunday for spring break.
People say I have the voice of an angel. Not because, but because I have Xfinity, the voice service with the best call clarity. I get caller ID on my TV and my PC, and I can check my voicemail online.
And you're saving money.
Get Xfinity Voice with unlimited nationwide calling for $19.99 a month for 12 months. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your current number. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
That's the only song they know.
Farmer are working together to bring us American ethanol, the right choice for the future of our sport, our country, and our planet. It's a brand new race day.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. fastest so far at 177.76 miles an hour, as his Hendrick teammate Mark Martin, carrying the CarQuest colors on his Chevrolet this week, rolls out for his run. Now Mark and Jeff Gordon, who goes next, had nearly identical speeds because they spent all of both sessions drafting together.
Well, this guy knows how to go fast here. In what was it, Larry, that he set the record here? 1997 at 188 miles an hour average for 500 miles.
Caution free.
Caution free. So Mark had a great run that day, and he's got a good run going here.
Yeah, we ran that 500-mile race in 2 hours and 39 minutes.
2 poles and 2 wins here for Mark, all driving for Jack Roush.
It's going to be a good lap for Mark.
Yeah, he's picking back up a skosh
here.
This looks pretty good right here. It's going to be close.
And Mark did not go to the apron and ends up on the pole, 177.8, 1/100th quicker than his teammate Dale Earnhardt Jr.
I have never driven a race car in my life. I got to leave this up to DW, but Darrell, I have always questioned, does going down on that apron, I know it's a shorter distance, but does it also scrub speed off?
Well, I always thought it did, because when you make that transition off of the racetrack down on that apron, the car does have a tendency to move a little bit. And we were talking in the opening, man, you got to hold this thing smooth all the way around the racetrack. And that little juking it does getting down on the apron could be just that few hundredths that you lose.
Well, Mark Martin fastest so far, so he held a pretty wheel.
Yep.
Krista.
Vickers currently, let's see, Mark's on the pole now, so down to 4th quick, but you said it's still a good lap, and Casey Kane said you guys are going to have some something special in drafting Sunday.
Yeah, I was laughing all the way down the backstretch. Ryan called the timeout. He's like, I think that's right. I'm not sure. It says we're 3rd on the board, but I just don't know if I believe it. No, the guys did a good job with the car. They kept asking me where it came from. I was like, I don't know. It was loose. And I stood at it. But, you know, it really is all about the car here, especially in qualifying. I'm really happy with our car and race trim. I think Casey and I both be good in the drafts. We've been practicing some together. But Red Bull and TRD built a good car, and I can't take any of the credit for today.
Thank you, and if you were laughing all the way down the backstretch, we'll let you laugh some more. Thanks, Brian.
The sheriff, the high sheriff.
Jeff Gordon in the Drive to End Hunger Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. (2011) finds him 14th in the standings right now, and as he says, needing to improve on the 1.5 mile tracks. Broke a long victory drought at Phoenix. That got him off to a good start. See what happens here. Gordon has 6 wins here, more than any active driver. He has 1 here leading just the last lap. He's 1 here leading 139 laps. And he leads all active drivers in laps led with over 800.
His crew chief, Alan Gustafson, led him to that win back at Phoenix in February. You know, something I learned recently about Jeff, you know, you always felt like Jeff Gordon would probably end up in the open wheel race. But then when there were no opportunities in open wheel racing, somebody said, hey, why don't you go down to Rockingham and give the Buck Baker driving school a little bit of a try? He went down there, he made about 10 laps and looked at his parents and said, I'm not interested in open wheels no more.
Wow.
I think I like stock cars.
He's interested in this run because 54.34 is the fastest first lap of the day.
By a bunch.
He looks to take the pole from Mark Martin, his teammate. This will put 3 Hendrick cars in the top 3 spots.
And Darrell, he gained in 3 and 4. He didn't lose at all. He actually gained some time there. He's up to about a 10th quicker than Mark Martin.
See the old veterans, you know, like Mark and then Jeff here. They stay on the track.
It's paying off.
And we break through 178 miles an hour with Jeff Gordon's run. The Drive to End Hunger Chevrolet is fastest so far.
Today, more than 6 million older Americans face the threat of hunger. In just 2 years, the number of people suffering has more than doubled. With your help, we can make this problem disappear. That's why I've teamed up with AARP and AARP Foundation in the Drive to End Hunger. Join us by visiting drivetoendhunger.org.
A Pinnacle fishing rod, a tackle box, an Ozark Trail tent, and an air horn.
Come on, boys, let's go. Let's get up. This is a fishing trip, not a sleeping trip. All right. That's what you asked for. You're going to get this, huh? Yeah, you up now.
Only Walmart has low prices every day on everything you need, backed by our ad match guarantee. Save money, live better. Walmart.
It's time to take matters into your own hands. AutoZone's got the advice and expertise you need to take on any job, because do it yourself doesn't mean you have to do it alone. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Wonder where the Durango's been for the last 2 years? It toured around Europe getting handling and steering lessons on those sporty European roads. It went back to school, got an advanced degree in technology. It's been working out, more muscle and less fat. It's done more in 2 years than most cars do in a lifetime.
Now lease the all-new 2011 Dodge Durango all-wheel drive Express for $359 a month for well-qualified lessees.
NASCAR The Game 2011. Rated everyone.
Okay, buddy, you okay? Yeah, I'm okay.
If the high price of fuel is keeping you up at night, then reach for Lucas Fuel Treatment. A safe, over-the-counter remedy, lubricating the entire fuel system. Just pour directly in your tank, and it instantly goes to work, cleaning and lubricating the entire fuel system. Sleep better and longer with Lucas Fuel Treatment.
Paul Menard is our 22nd qualifier today. In the fall race of 2008, here he started 5th and finished 2nd. This will be his 10th trip to Talladega. He has one restrictor plate pole. It came at Daytona in July of 2008.
Yeah, Paul won the ARCA Series race here back in 2003.
4th for the Menard Chevy, 53.88, 177.7 miles per hour. Good run. Puts 4 Chevrolets at the top of the board right now, Krista.
Yeah, with Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon just came over, and you guys drafted together all day in practice yesterday, so this is good to see the two of you up there. But the funny thing is, you're taking him to your fan appreciation day here in a few minutes. I say you leave him behind. He knocked you off the pole.
Man, he's a superstar. I can't leave him behind. Just want to give a shout out to the engine department at Hendrick Motorsports. Incredible engines always, and of course always really nice race cars as well. But it's really really a nice piece, and as always, and it's just a pleasure to be driving it.
Yeah, and it's great to see you guys up there. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, if you're near Batesville, Arkansas today, Fan Appreciation Day at Mark Martin's car dealerships there, and Mark and Jeff Gordon will be among those who will greet the fans and maybe sell you a car. So here's Kurt Busch in the Shell Pennzoil number 22. but shootout winner at Daytona. 5 top 10s, that's tied for the most. He has led the point standings, comes in here in 5th. He has also led the last 5 races at Talladega and is trying to extend a string of 7 straight top 10 starts in restrictor plate races.
And these Dodges run pretty darn good down here in Daytona. You know, Kurt's got one good thing going for him this year, Larry. He's finished all but 1 lap so far this year.
Crew Chief Steve Addington. I know you documented about the win in the Budweiser shootout. He also won the Gatorade Duel, one of them on Thursday. But Kurt so much wants to win a restrictor plate points event. 41 starts. Can't count how many times he's come close. In fact, he pushed his teammate at that time, Ryan Newman, to the win in the Daytona 500 a few years ago.
Carrying the AAA colors on that Penske Dodge this week. Well, first lap 54.70. And that's right about what the 3rd through 5th place cars ran on their first lap. Steve pretty much set the bar for some of that late race strategy last week of pitting Kurt right at the point where he could finish the race on that tank full if it went the distance, perhaps. And a lot of people kind of ended up following their lead. Some did, some didn't. It was interesting how it all played out.
Yeah, I don't think anyone felt like that we would run the last 114 laps of that race caution free. It wasn't a race winning move, but it bought them a much better finish than they probably would have had. Ended up in the top 10.
Yeah, at one point during the race, Kurt came on the radio and said, how many cars in the lead lap? And when he was told 25, he said, well, we'll be lucky to finish there. They came up with a strategy that got him a good finish. And Kurt Busch with a 53.98 is 6th fastest. Let's hear from the man who's quickest.
Mike, that of course would be Jeff Gordon. Now when Mark Martin turned his lap, he said awesome. When you turned your lap, you said holy crap.
Yeah, I just, we didn't make a qualifying run. I wasn't expecting it. I mean, I know how good this team prepares for these restrictor plates races, and this Drive to End Hunger Chevrolet was fast in Daytona, and felt great in drafting yesterday, but we never made a qualifying run. So I guess I just didn't expect to run that especially after what Mark ran. So happily surprised, and great effort. So much effort gets put into these race cars for those 2 laps. But so far a great day for the Drive to End Hunger Chevrolet, and we hope that hopefully we can stay that way. I know we're going to be late getting to Batesville, Arkansas, so I want to apologize to some of those folks if we're delayed too much, but can't wait to get there and sign some autographs.
I joked with Mark that he should leave you behind because you knocked him off the pole. He said, nope, that's a superstar. He's going with me.
Oh, well, he's invited me for years. I'm glad it's finally worked out, and I'm glad the weather's finally gotten out of here. So great day for us to go there. Hopefully we can stay 1-2. We'll have something to even be more excited about when we get there.
Have fun.
Well, not sure if it'll hold up, but Hendrick Motorsports has swept the top 3 in qualifying 6 times, including here in late 2009. Coming up on Speed, the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race Saturday night under the lights at Charlotte Motor Speedway, May 21st. One driver who figures large in Talladega's rather unique history of great finishes and wild finishes is Brad Keselowski. He's in the 09 here, giving a boost to Carl Edwards, and when Carl starts to come down, Brad holds his ground. Ryan Newman was right there in Edwards' path, and it was Keselowski who ended up in victory lane as the cars of Edwards and Newman were littered down the front straightaway.
But we were seeing it right there. The 2-car tango, the pair of drivers hooked up together. I just don't know we realized it was going to be elevated to what we're seeing today.
And on the radio, his spotter was reminding him not to go below that yellow line like the year before Regan Smith did, cost him a win. The spotter was saying don't go below the line. So Brad basically just held his position, made contact with Carl, and I think the funniest thing about it when it was over with, and it was funny, Carl gets out of his car and runs across the finish line.
Ricky Bobby style.
Yeah, Ricky Bobby.
Yep.
He was going to finish the race even if it was on foot.
And then you saw Ryan Newman finish in 3rd after that car coming down on top of him. He said, I had no choice. My throttle was hung wide open.
Right.
Well, we can laugh about it now. It was frightening looking mess at the time.
Yes, it was. Catch fence did its job. All the safety equipment did its job. And Brad Keselowski clocks in with a 54.09. He is 15th out of 24 right now. Steve?
Well, Mike, here's a fun little Joey Logano nugget. 4 Cup starts here. You've never finished worse than 9th.
Really? Oh,
really?
That's cool.
What was the poll here?
Seems like it's been a good racetrack for us so far. I feel like I got another good Home Depot Toyota here today. It pushed good yesterday, drafted good. We just we have no idea where we're going to qualify, probably like most everyone else here. So I don't know. All I can do is put the heel to the steel and I don't know, hope for the best, I guess.
I like that, heel to the steel.
Hammer down, either way. Either way works.
They both work here.
Logano's about 4 cars away from making his qualifying run. There's his teammate Denny Hamlin. A little further down the order, or actually just in front of Logano. And on track, the closer, Kevin Harvick. Mr. Where Did He Come From has made his presence known this season. At the top of the board in California. And then on the totally different track at Martinsville. 2 wins for Kevin Harvick, which should pretty well assure him of being in the chase with the new rules this year of how you qualify.
Exactly, and he's the only 2-time winner so far this year. Yeah, I think he feels very comfortable with those 2 wins.
8 top 10 finishes here, including a win and a 2nd place last year.
That he would be locked in to the chase at this, based on what's happened over the last several years.
Now that we've had 24 drivers out on the track, if you notice, every driver on their first lap is going to be pretty much back here, dead last, because with this carburetor restrictor plate, you're building speed the whole time. You know, there's even a question, are you up to full song when you get back to take the white flag, because that plate cuts the horsepower in half.
And for most drivers, Larry, the pickup lap 1 to lap 2 is 6 to 7 tenths of a second. So Harvick's 5th lap, 55.62. Well, that would lead to a 2nd lap of about a flat, which would put him about 15th. So he's going to need a bigger pickup than that.
And if you think about it, these cars that are going late, they actually are at a somewhat of a disadvantage, I think, because they've been sitting on pit road for a long time. Any heat that you had in the car coming out to the line has dissipated by now. And we're in race conditions here, so you got racing fluids in the engine, in the transmission, and everything. So it takes a lap to get a little heat and all that stuff to loosen it all up to where the car can really free up and go.
Well, Kevin Harvick is not seeing the pickup that we have seen from many cars on their 2nd lap.
No, every racetrack we go to where these drivers have to qualify, we talk about maybe the track gaining grip, you know, cooling down. Here, it's about getting the fluids hot, and as we've been looking at the American flag, the win.
The Budweiser Chevy does pick up a full 2nd, but he is 23rd at a 54.67.
On a special military edition of Car Warriors, the All-Stars take on the Air Force, and it's all-out chaos as the deadline is cut in half.
I just don't know how we're going to pull this off.
Wednesday on an all-new Car Warriors, followed by Car Science, only on Speed.
In today's cars, there's self-adjusting cylinders, self-activating wipers, even self-deploying spoilers. Why not a self-cleaning engine? Next-generation Pennzoil cleans out up to 40% of engine sludge. Sludge that lesser oils can leave behind. Feel the clean and turn your engine into a self-cleaning engine. Visit Pennzoil.com for a chance to win a trip to Memorial Day's 2 biggest races.
Everyone on my team always wants something different for dinner, and I am not a short order cook. That's why we're headed to Cece's Pizza for their $4.99 endless buffet. They have 20 varieties of delicious pizza, as well as fresh salads, hot pasta, and delightful desserts. The variety is unbelievable, so there's something for everyone. Am I a mind reader or just awesome? Or both? I know I can finally relax when I hear...
Hi, welcome to Cece's.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson.
So here are the keys. Congratulations, it's officially yours. I'm sure you'll have many happy years here. Except for you, because you'll be gone 3 years from now, struck down by the same disease that got your father. So you won't be around for them. And sadly, it could have been detected early with a simple test, but you didn't have it. Okay, who wants to check out the backyard?
For a list of tests every man should have, go to ahrq.gov.
Comcast is looking for motivated sales professionals.
Coverage of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying from Talladega, brought to you in high definition by Funai. Funai, fun and innovative. Experience more at FunaiAmerica.com. And by Just for Men Hair Color, Live Forward. David Gilliland on track in the Taco Bell Ford. Last time he ran a restrictor plate race was the Daytona 500, and he finished third. Great finish for the front row team. First lap 55.43. And the checker waves over Gilliland with a 54.67, almost identical to what Kevin Harvick just ran. 23rd on the board out of 26. Krista?
Yeah, with Kevin Harvick, Mike, and I know there was a lot of question. Kevin, you were talking about your tires or the balance on the radio. Was that an issue on your qualifying lap?
No, it was just we had a little vibration there, but you know, we just were really conservative on temperatures and things with the motor, and so we aren't going to take any chances on hurting anything today. We have a plan coming into the weekend, and qualified and wasn't a part of it.
All right, thanks, Kevin. And obviously they had that motor issue when we were in Daytona, Steve.
Thanks, Krista. Jimmy Johnson and I walking down to the car now. Your teammates have been pretty sporty here, pretty smoky. How about you guys?
We hope to do the same. And each guy's gone out and is up the other one, so I'm hopeful this 48 Lowe's car will go out and do the same. But we all felt yesterday that our cars had more speed, and then did a really good job in the draft and staying cool and handling and all the things that we needed. So I'm happy to see my teammates back up, what we were all discussing in our debrief yesterday, and I hope that we can do it too.
And when Krista threw it to us, we were actually talking about chasing your daughter around.
Yeah, she's pretty mobile. It's nice to be in the motorhome. That's a small space, and she doesn't get too far away, but it's been a fun morning watching her explore and check stuff out, so it's a blast.
It's a bigger world for her now, isn't it?
It is. She's checking it all out, and of course she goes to everything that we don't want her to touch. She's tried some dog food. She had the water bowl for the dog, whipping it around, and it's been an entertaining morning, to say the least.
Family fun.
Yes.
A busy day for Jimmy Johnson. It said last night when the tornadoes rolled through Alabama that the residents of the motor coach lot were brought to the infield media center, which was the biggest concrete block building in the infield, to kind of hang out and wait out the storm.
Yeah, the medical building medical center down there. A lot of people went in there and into the media room as well. So everybody kind of evacuated there for a little while. It got a little edgy for a while.
Following up on what Kevin Harvick told Krista Voda, she mentioned it about the fact that they did have engine failure early in the Daytona 500, but when you think about it, there were 3 failures of the Earnhardt Childress Racing engine count. Jeff Burton, his teammate, had an issue, and Jamie McMurray had an issue late in the race and limped home on 7 cylinders.
I like the sponsor on this car. Thank a teacher. That's a nice little message there for Landon Castle and James Finch's car.
Well, I tell you what, they're going to thank Hendrick Motorsports right now, because they do have Hendrick power under the hood of this 09 car, and right now he's flirting in the top 5.
That car has done very well here.
He's been a good qualifier, and of course that's the team that Brad Keselowski won with when he beat Carl Edwards. Wow, top 5. And that is going to close the book on everybody else. It's going to be a front 5 of Chevrolets right now as Castle completes his run.
Pretty steamy.
5th quickest, 53.89. He is the 10th driver to tour the track in under 54 seconds. Stay informed and up to date with Speed's extensive NASCAR stats. You'll find the latest practice and qualifying reports, race results, and driver standings, and more at speed.com in the NASCAR section. So we're into the top 10 fastest practice speeds with 8 of those drivers to go. This is among the drivers locked into the field. And then we'll move to knockout qualifying, where 3 drivers will be sent home. Now, Kyle Busch and Jimmy Johnson spent a lot of yesterday drafting together, an awful lot, for 2 fellows whose teams and manufacturers don't get along. Ricky Carmichael there,
the GOAT,
greatest of all time in motocross, and he's having quite a year in the Camping World Truck Series.
He truly is. Yep. Had a great run the ARCA race at Daytona in the car that I think Brandon drove today.
Yes, and he really impressed me, Darrell, at Martinsville. I mean, you know best of all of us what a tricky place that is to drive, and he had a top 5 run going in that truck and got moved up the racetrack and shuffled back out of the top 10, but had a great drive late in the race.
Well, you know, as we watch Denny Hamlin going around here, they have a thing called the driver rating. And it takes into consideration wins, finishes, top 15 finishes, average running positions while on the lead lap, average speed under green, fastest lap, laps led. So many different aspects it takes into consideration. But Denny Hamlin leads all drivers when it comes to driver rating here over the last after the last 6 years.
It's the FedEx Office Toyota this week with light blue, sky blue, and white. Hamlin has a 3rd place start and a 3rd place finish here. 3 top 10 finishes and 3 top 10 starts in 10 appearances.
Yeah, and those 10 starts, I think this is what goes in relationship with your driver rating. He has led at least a lap in every one of those 10 races.
55-21. That's not in the top 20 of first laps.
No, that's not a very good driver rating there. It's going to go downhill right here.
Statistics.
You know, Mike, you talked about we're in the top 10, the fastest from practice of our top 35. And I definitely look at Jimmy Johnson being the 4th Hendrick car, but the other 2 will be at the end of these top 35. Remember, Hendrick Power and Ryan Newman and Tony Stewart, and those 2 cars. So I think they're going to be ones we're going to have to watch as well here shortly.
And Jimmy Johnson, 3 of the top 5 in practice with Hendrick engines.
It's really how it goes, though. And Larry, you know this, Mike. Everybody at Daytona is talking about all the Fords and, you know, this and that. And so we come at what happened. Everybody goes home. Chevrolet guys go home and say, we got work to do.
Yes, sir.
Denny Hamlin, 22nd with a 54-29. His teammate Joey Logano is next.
Kyle Busch! Let's do this! Let's do this! That's how you do a donut.
They want you to come to the conference room. Jack, come to the conference room.
Okay.
What would you do with your favorite driver? Enter your design at toyotaracing.com.
Introducing Good Hands Roadside from Allstate. It's free to join, and you don't have to be an Allstate customer to use it. Now, help is never far away.
Get the free to join, pay only when you use it roadside assistance. Register at allstate.com/roadside.
Only Polaris delivers the ultimate combination of power, suspension, and agility. The only trail-capable side-by-side, Ranger RZR. The only sport performance side-by-side, RZR S. The only 4-seat sport, RZR 4. And the only extreme performance side-by-side, the 88-horsepower RZR XP. Razor sharp performance only from Polaris. Huge rebates and low financing are available right now during the Polaris XP sales event.
Relationships fail. Systems fail. Failure is part of life. Fram filters are tested beyond any conditions you'll ever encounter to help make sure failure is not part of your engine's life. Fram, don't fail your engine.
This is more than a ticket. It's a wallet-sized definition of who you are and where you belong, providing both a place to sit and countless chances to stand up for what you believe in. It's a rite of passage, a declaration of independence, and an invitation to discover 43 new heroes and 100,000 new friends. This is more than a ticket, because it says as much about you as any piece of paper can. Reserve yours today at NASCAR.com/tickets.
Joey Logano in the Home Depot Toyota making his 5th trip to Talladega and looking for his 2nd start in the top 20 via time trials. He has 2 top 5 finishes, 3 top 10s in 4 starts.
I think this just goes to show you, and it backs up what we talked about at the top of the show. We have no idea who is fast. We have no idea who can sit on the pole. The 3 Gibbs cars were all in the top 10, but they were all drafting speeds. And right now, 2 of the 3 Gibbs cars, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, don't even look like they're going to be in the top 20 when this is all over with said and done.
Seems like I remember that same pattern from Daytona. Seems like I remember those the Toyotas and the Gibbs cars in particular were all at the top of the speed chart in race practice.
And Brian Vickers is the fastest Toyota. He's 8th. Rudeman 12th. Labonte 13th. And here's Logano across the line, 24th with a 54.59. Krista?
Mike, with Landon Castle, we know your owner has success at Talladega, but your best start this year, 24th. You just blew that out of the water. Where did that come from?
Oh man, this is all these guys at Phoenix Racing. You know, James Finch gave me a great opportunity. Nick Harrison and the guys work hard on this car. You know, we got security benefit on this Chevy for this weekend. I'm excited. I mean, we're obviously fast. It's going to be cool. I'm going to be leaning on a lot of my teachers. So I'll be hopefully thanking all my teachers after the race on Sunday. And it's neat. I mean, qualifying at Talladega is kind of the team's deal. You know, this week I actually hosted a qualifying session at Talladega on iRacing with my friends in the ASCORS team speak. And like, we worked on qualifying, but there's not much to gain as a driver, you know, like it's all these guys. So I'm just really proud of them and really excited to have Thank a Teacher today on board, security benefit. And I want to do what Brad Keselowski did. I want to win this race. So, but I'm going to have to push some people and be a good pusher. You know, Trevor did a good job at Daytona pushing people and kind of building that trust with the veteran drivers, and that's really what it's going to take for me to be up front at the end.
Might be our Cinderella story. And Steve, my teacher I'd like to thank, that would be 2nd grade, Miss Bolte.
Mrs. Allen was my 2nd grade teacher. Her daughter is Karen Allen, who is in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Kyle Busch, you have 2 Camping World Truck Series wins, a Cup win here. I know it takes a lot of elements to win. What's the single biggest factor it takes to get into victory lane?
Luck. You just got to have a lot of it, man. You got to be in the right place at the right time, and you got to have everything go your way and a good pusher as well too, or somebody that'll work with you at least, you know. So a lot of different elements here, but qualifying doesn't much matter. We'll just see where we end up. Our M&M's pretzel car was really good in the draft yesterday. We worked with the 48 a little bit, and Jimmy and those guys, and then we had some time with the 83. We know our team cars will be good together, so no sense in working with those guys yet until we get in the race.
Thanks, Kyle.
You got it.
Thanks, Steve. Jeff Burton was 6th fastest in practice among the top 35. He's in the Cat Financial Chevrolet this week. Another Richard Childress car. Right now the top 5 are all Chevys. The second 5, 2 Fords, a Dodge, a Toyota, and a Chevrolet. Ooh, first lap 55.07. And that should translate to a top 15 run.
It's much quicker than his teammate Kevin Harvick's first lap. I was looking at Clint Boyer, who is 9th. Clint's first lap was a 54.81, so a little off of that.
I was looking at the flags up in turn 4, Larry, and they're still out there pretty straight.
Yeah, that flag has been standing straight out. In fact, I think it's getting more and more as we get into this session.
I think when we look at Harvick's run and listen to his interview, they actually were just taking it easy on their engine. They, you know, if you have a failure at Daytona like he did, probably going to be real conservative today with that qualifying effort.
Absolutely.
Jeff Burton trying to hang on to the top 20 here. And just misses. 22nd with a 54.26 for Burton. Next, we move into the Fast 5 and then knockout qualifying.
For the past 52 years, the Coca-Cola 600 has been the great Memorial Day tradition at Charlotte Motor Speedway. As family, friends, and fans, we unite to proudly salute our beloved troops and thank them for our freedom. We stand and cheer as our favorite NASCAR heroes wage war for 600 grueling miles. The Coca-Cola 600. The tradition continues, and we let freedom race. Call 1-800-455-FANS for tickets today.
You deserve world-class emergency roadside service. Good Sam Emergency Road Service has performed over 1.5 million rescues to date. Developed and road tested for RV owners who demand the best, we also cater to truck, motorcycle, and passenger auto owners. Good Sam does not charge extra mileage for towing your vehicle to the nearest repair facility. Call 866-GO-GOOD-SAM today and pay just $56 for the first year. That's a savings of 50%. You must act now to take advantage of this exclusive offer. 1-866-GO-GOOD-SAM. Call now.
Introducing the ultimate.
So my uncle calls and he says he's dizzy and he's losing his balance. I'm like, Unc, you want me to take you to a doctor? He's like, no, I'm gonna look up the symptoms. I said, your symptoms are you're dizzy and you're losing your balance. So he said, I can't get on the internet because my arm is numb. I said, well, use your good arm and dial 911. Stroke's no joke. If you or someone you love is showing symptoms of stroke, don't wait because it might be too late. Dial 911. Time lost is brain lost.
I've got big news for millions of satisfied Allegra users and allergy sufferers alike. You no longer need a prescription to get Allegra because it's now over the counter, so you can get it right at the shelf.
Prescription strength Allegra is now available without a prescription.
It's the same exact medicine, same full prescription strength.
Only Allegra delivers fast, non-sedating 24-hour relief for your toughest allergy symptoms.
Allegra, prescription strength allergy medicine, now available without a prescription.
Trevor Bayne in black is showing Carl Edwards how to fly his stunt kite. And in the wind we have here today, that thing is going all over the place.
Actually, I think Trevor had it. Carl said, here, give me that. I'll show you how to do it.
That looks like fun.
It looks like the Alabama State Troopers are wanting to know, what are you doing out here?
What are you doing in our infield?
And Trevor said, let me show you how to do it. Remember who won Daytona?
And
show him the ring.
That's right. I got the ring, brother.
And then the fun police showed up.
That's right.
A.J. Allmendinger in the Best Buy Ford. His first trip here was with Team Red Bull. In 2008, he started fourth. So he's looking for his first top 15 finish since then. He was fifth fastest in practice. And Allmendinger takes the checker, and he is 14th for the moment in Richard Petty's 43 with a 54.07. He is third among the Fords. And we've received word that Sam Hornish's qualifying time has been disallowed. The front end of the car was too low in post-qualifying inspection. Hornish qualified Robbie Gordon's car earlier. Steve?
And Mike, I just showed Tony Stewart the reminder, do not touch the brakes, and he said the sad thing is after 13 years they still have to remind him of that. Saw you and Ryan Newman solving all the world's problems. Is that what it was?
No, we were talking about how big of an idiot he is. He was out on the lake here yesterday fishing when the tornado warnings were going off. So he was him being the smart engineer and all, he was trying to decide whether when the lightning was striking, whether it was better to be in the middle of the lake on the boat or underneath the tree limb. I'm pretty sure neither were a good idea.
In other words, he's just a lucky man.
Well, yeah, look at his wife and look at his beautiful child. You know he's lucky. So.
He outkicked his coverage, didn't he?
By a mile.
All right, that had nothing to do with Talladega, but it was a fun conversation. Thanks, Tony.
Stewart and Burns, they'll be appearing here all week. Nice hat, Tony. The little 19 to the left of the 48 shows that's a Jim Hunter hat. Longtime NASCAR Vice President of Communication. It's not a Jimmy Johnson hat. They used to make those with just the 48. Hunter had to answer that question so many times they had to remake them with the little 19 alongside. NASCAR was founded in 1948. Here's 5 times year in review. A little look at Jimmy Johnson's 2011. Yep, that's a goose egg. Who would have thought that Jimmy Johnson would go this deep in the season without a win?
No one, but he is the keeper of the rings. I can tell you that.
All 5 of them. Yeah, he only has actually one win in the last 9 months, and that was the win at Dover from the pole back in September, second race of the chase in 2010.
Jimmy started on the pole here 3 times, but twice that was because he was the point leader and qualifying had been rained out. His first trip here in 2002 in a Cup car, he won the pole and finished 7th.
Now, his first lap was nothing like his teammate Jeff Gordon's first lap, but it was right there about what Mark Martin in the 5 car ran, who's on the outside of the front row.
One thing I see about this 48 bunch, they have to be challenged. They really have to look for a challenge. Jimmy does, Chad does. The tracker's moving up there pretty well right now as well. Just think about back to Homestead. Going into that race, everyone said, well, they don't run that good at Homestead. You know, but what did they do at Homestead? They sit up there, ran the top 3 or 4 all night, won the championship.
They never had to run well at Homestead. No. They just had to seal the deal.
Rick Hendrick has 4 cars on his team, and they now hold the front 4 spots in the field. Johnson, second. 4-time and 5-time right now on the front row. Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon.
That was a nice pickup, Larry. Very nice pickup.
Yes, because Gordon's first lap was 0.3 faster than Johnson's, and the difference on the second lap was only about 1/10 of a second. It's not over. 3 more drivers, the 3 fastest in practice, have yet to go, and then knockout qualifying, pull out all the stops for the fellows who Larry pointed out their race is the race to get in the race today. Sprint brings you an inside look at what's happening now inside the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Kyle Busch has led more laps than anyone this season so far. For more NASCAR stats, in-car audio, and live race radio, NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile can be found at sprint.com/speed.
Yeah, Bristol, Auto Club Speedway, and Martinsville, he led 150+ laps in each of those 3 races. Got the win at Bristol.
Larry, he's led 20% of the laps this year already.
Yeah.
The last 7 races at Talladega has Kyle Busch leading at least a lap. When he won here in this race 3 years ago, he led 12 of the 188 laps. Started 5th. Well, that's the end of the fun for today. And I'm out of here.
Whoa.
New ball,
catch.
new game. A little Red Grange there. Meanwhile, here's the M&M's Pretzel Camry of Kyle Busch and Joe Gibbs Racing. He's sort of off the chart on his first lap,
which would be real close to Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, his 2 teammates. But I think, as he said in his interview, and I think yesterday's practice supported it, their cars are going to draft and run well in the race.
Now, Hamlin picked up a full second, as did Logano. But Kyle Busch right now 55-28. Even if he picks up a second, he may barely break into the top 25.
I want to watch this car, Larry, as it goes down the straightaway. They don't have these cars. The Gibbs cars are not tracking to the left quite like some of the other faster cars are. That could have a little bit of effect on the kind of speeds that they're laying down. I think these cars are more in race trim, what you'd like to feel in a race. Car's pretty symmetrical looking going around the racetrack.
Dave Rogers is crew chief, been with Kyle ever since the fall of 2009. Yeah, he's not going to crack the top 25, Mike.
It'll be tough sledding on the start tomorrow for Kyle Busch. He'll be right alongside Joey Logano, right in the middle of the 3 Gibbs cars. 27th for Kyle. Krista?
Well, I'm still following up with Jimmy Johnson on the whether Evie eats dog food, the Steve Burns conversation. But more importantly, top 4 positions right now, Hendrick cars, pretty good.
Yeah, let's clarify. Genevieve did not. She was at the dog food bowl. She's so quick and fast that before you know it, now that she's mobile, we're kind of learning what that part of life is.
I'm glad you cleared that up, because that was my first question to you when you got out of the car. But how good is this car? How good is Hendrick here at this track? How good are you going to be on Sunday?
We knew that our cars were good in practice yesterday, and it's nice to have it show up on the scoring pylon today. So it'd be great if it held up 1 through 4. I'm not sure if it's ever happened before, but we like to make the boss smile, and I know Mr. Hendrick's smiling right now, and we hope that it stays that way. And my hat's off to the race team and all of Hendrick Motorsports for the hard work they've put in, and it's evident today.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Thanks, Krista. A look at the grill opening of Kyle Busch's car on his cool-down lap. Not sure if that affected his time or not.
No, it won't. That's already taped up solid. It looks like just a piece of trash that picked up on there, but the thing's already blocked up solid anyway for qualifying.
He gained 0.8 of a second from lap 1 to lap 2. Ryan Newman, the Haas Automation Chevrolet. Now, they have Hendrick power, but they're not a Hendrick car. So let me get this in before the rocket runs. Only twice in NASCAR history has one team swept the first 4 positions at the start of a race. Roush Racing at Auto Club Speedway in 2005, and Pete DiPaolo Racing at Concord, North Carolina, December 1956.
See a little trash on the grill here of Ryan Newman's car. It's pretty low right there, but the wind is blowing so much, whipping around so much, it blowing a lot of trash out onto the racetrack.
And even though Newman and his boss and teammate Tony Stewart were the 2 fastest in practice, they're not setting the timing lights afire on this first lap.
Well, Ryan comes in here 7th in the points. He's been full-time in the Sprint Cup Series since 2002, the year he beat Jimmy Johnson, actually, for Rookie of the Year. This is the highest Ryan has ever been in the points after 7 races.
We should have a crew chief like Tony Gibson, and he says, pretty good lap. Pretty good first lap there, old man.
Well, 55-16. And Newman may break up into the top 15, but he's going to have to gain more than a second on this lap to do that.
Yeah.
It made a big jump when he crossed the start-finish line to take the white flag, but yeah, he's flirting being outside the top 15, and it's going the wrong direction the further down the back straightaway he goes.
We can see, look at that. Look at those flags, though. A lot of wind right there in that end of the speedway.
Darrell, did the grandstands buffer any of that wind, give you a little relief from it through the tri-oval?
Well, once you get into the tri-oval, yeah. Okay. Once you get the car turned off of turn 4 down there and head down in front of the grandstand, certainly does.
Second fastest in practice, 21st on the board for Ryan Newman at a 54.20. Tony Stewart, fastest in practice, up next. And Rio, a movie that'll bring the world to its feet, now playing.
And Mike, you were talking about the wind. Normally you'll have if you have a tailwind down the back, that'll get the pickup speed down the back, obviously, and you might get a little headwind off of coming through the tri-oval here, slow you down. So it's a trade-off. But when you have the kind of wind we have today, where it's a crossing wind down on that end, the 3rd and 4th turn of the speedway, that actually is all down. I mean, it's a bad news for every. It doesn't pick up any speed. It just costs you speed.
If we try to use the wind as excuse, I think our owner DW is going to show us his qualifying order. The 88 went 7th, the 5 went 20th, the 24 went 21st, and the 48 went 32nd. So they're scattered all over the place as far as the Hendrick cars.
So here's Tony Stewart in the Mobile One Office Depot Chevrolet. Smoke has 2 outside pole starts here and has never been to victory lane in a cup race at Talladega. So how did he and Ryan Newman get the fastest speeds in practice? They drafted together, and on their fastest lap they were drafting up on another group of cars, so they had the fastest lap of everybody because nobody got to do single car qualifying runs.
Most drivers will tell you, crew chiefs can't pay much attention to the scoring monitor in practice at Daytona and Talladega for that very reason. You always kind of get a false indication based on whether you got help or not.
Ryan Newman's first lap was 55.16. As Stewart rounds off turn 4.
Was running second with 2 laps to go in the Daytona 500, ended up finishing 13th. I think that probably, I think we can say Trevor Bayne winning the 500 was a surprise, but I think the fact Tony Stewart losing that much ground on that last restart, that was a bigger surprise to us, I think, than anything.
He said he was in the wrong line. He and Mark Martin, they just didn't go, and of course they went sailing by. Same thing happened to him in California.
Now Stewart's first lap is 0.2 better than his teammate Newman's. If his second lap is also 0.2 better, he could flirt with the top 10. Oops, tracker headed the wrong way.
Again, can't get a good look at this car, but one of the things that you need to watch is who has these cars tracking to the left. There's a lot of speed when your car is tracking to the left a little bit. It looks like Tony's got a little bit in his, not as much as some of the other cars I've seen, and that will make a big difference in your qualifying speed. It's going to race better that way.
And he's going to be right amidst his former teammates at Joe Gibbs Racing, deep in the 20s. 27th for Tony Stewart with a 54.30. Jeff Gordon is fastest, and knockout qualifying is next.
And for you, the chef has prepared something really special. I think you're really gonna like this. There you go. Oh, have you tried ProGlide? You gotta be kidding me. Yo. Have you tried ProGlide? No. No, I haven't. What are you, crazy? Hey, turn shaving into glide. You gotta try it. Denny, is that tiramisu?
It's your turn to take the ProGlide challenge. Go to youtube.com/ProGlide.
So what are you waiting for? Nothing now.
Speed training. It's how Advanced Auto Parts trains our staff to get you the right part even faster.
Not bad.
The parts you need even faster. Advanced Auto Parts. Service is our best part. Next!
Ready for the most amazing Miracle-Gro results ever? Spectacular plants without all the weeds. With Miracle-Gro Shake and Feed Plus Weed Preventer. Just a few shakes stops weeds before they start. Plants grow twice as big with almost no weeds, even in your vegetable garden. Want 3 months of feeding without all the weeding? All you need is Shake and Feed Plus Weed Preventer.
Okay, hold your line. Hold your line. Middle's good. Shoot the middle. Turn to the bottom. You got it. You got it. Oh, no.
NASCAR The Game 2011.
Okay, buddy. You okay? Yeah, I'm okay.
Rated E for everyone.
Green flag.
Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson are fastest so far, but get ready for some surprises in knockout qualifying. Michael McDowell first up for Phil Parsons and Randy Humphries. 3 drivers will go home. McDowell hoping not to be one of them. 2 trips to Talladega, 2 top 25 starts for the Glendale, Arizona native.
This team, this driver had a lot of issues yesterday with inspection. Quite honestly, this is the first up-to-speed lap that Michael McDowell was making. They only made a very slow lap of 1 yesterday.
Second lap, 54.77. He is 33rd of 36 so far.
I just tell you, Mike, Larry, that restrictor plate is a great equalizer, and because of it, you just never know. When these guys get back here, you just never know what might pop up, because these cars can be just as fast as our pole setter right now. Some of them can, 3 of them can anyway.
Mike Skinner about 5 drivers away there.
We'll go back to Kevin Harvick's interview. Conservative. I promise you, these 11 drivers, there's nothing about conservative with their qualifying efforts as far as things done to the car.
Yeah, there's going to be some guys. What does it Gomer Pyle used to say? Surprise, surprise.
We could have a couple here.
Shazam.
Yeah.
Tony Raines. Looks like they splashed a bit of blue paint to go with the yellow on his car, run by Larry Gunzelman. This will be Raines' 9th race at Talladega. He has a best start of 8th in October 2008, racing for Hall of Fame racing.
The Fords, they've not made a lot of noise here today. We only have one Ford in the top 10, David Reagan, in the 6 car. But I do know the 37 of Tony Raines as well as the 38 car of Travis Quapple. One thing they did do for here is they ramped it up under the hood. They've got a new the new phase of the Roush Fenway engine. So knowing that they were going to have to come here and qualify on speed.
$11 drivers for 8 spots in the field. One of those drivers, Bill Elliott, has the champion's provisional in his back pocket. So that means there are 7 spots available on time. Now Elliott doesn't have to use that provisional. He can race or time his way into the field here today. But regardless, there are only 7 other drivers who are going to make it in this session. First lap for Raines, 55.45. Now that's about 3/10 quicker than McDowell.
Yeah, I really don't have a good feeling about that time that Michael McDowell ran, 54.77. I just think lack of track time certainly hurt their efforts.
And Larry, let's explain a little. The order the cars go through inspection prior to practice is determined how.
Well, they try to divide it up, especially as an extensive of practice here. But for the most part, it's how you are in owner points. It's how you're lined up in the garage area. But they've done a much better job, John Darby, Robin Pemberton, of dividing the garage area up where cars are not just sitting waiting. I mean, they go through about 16 stations of inspection, so they'll divide the group up. You go through this part of the inspection first, and the group at the top of the garage will go through this part first. So kind of makes it even out a little bit.
Tony Raines, 54.72. That second lap, just 5/100ths quicker than Michael McDowell.
On a special military edition of Car Warriors, the All-Stars take on the Air Force, and it's all-out chaos as the deadline is cut in half.
I just don't know how we're going to pull this off.
Wednesday on an all-new Car Warriors, followed by Car Science, only on Speed.
Truth is, most motorcycle insurance costs about the same. What's not the same is the coverage. Now you can get the Allstate protection you need for a price you can afford. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects the rider better than Allstate.
I can't let allergies stop me from leading the way. So I get Claritin Clear. Non-drowsy Claritin relieves my worst symptoms. And only Claritin is proven to keep me as alert and focused as someone without allergies. Watch your step.
Thanks.
Live Claritin Clear.
Amanda had 3,000.
The commissioner is about to get this party started on NFL Network.
Okay, football fans, here we go. Welcome to the NFL Draft.
The 2011 NFL Draft begins Thursday, April 28th, live and in primetime. NFL Network. You want the NFL? Go to the NFL.
Nissan, innovation you can count on. Innovation for all. For great deals on reliable sedans, crossovers, trucks, and SUVs, visit ChooseNissan.com or your Bay Area Nissan dealer today.
I've got big news for millions of satisfied Allegra users and allergy sufferers alike. You no longer need a prescription to get Allegra because it's now over the counter, so you can get it right at the shelf.
Prescription strength Allegra is now available without a prescription.
It's the same exact medicine, same full prescription strength.
Only Allegra delivers fast, non-sedating 24-hour relief for your toughest allergy symptoms.
Allegra, prescription strength allergy medicine, now available without a prescription.
Wednesday on Car Warriors, all I can think of is Animal House and Blue Tarski's the Deathmobile. Because on Car Warriors Wednesday, they're going to build the ultimate Hollywood car of destruction and do it in just 36 hours. Wonder if Otis Day and the Knights will be there to perform.
It might be.
Probably not. But Car Warriors, it's worth a look. Wednesday night, right here on Speed.
Now, Larry, The 71 car has a new crew chief.
It does. Doug Richard has moved over there, and Doug has been around for a number of years. In fact, Dale Earnhardt's first championship driving for Rod Osterlund in 1980, Doug Richard was the crew chief.
California kid.
So here's the interstate moving forward. Kevin Buckler's car, Andy Lally, road racer, at the wheel. They fell out of the top 35 by just 4 points, but it means Lally has to time his way into the field right here. First lap, 55.41. That was quicker than Tony Raines, quicker than Michael McDowell. And looks like he's going to be just fractionally quicker than either one. If he can hold right there to the stripe. Did it. 54.61. Andy Lally has a 10th in the bank to those two, but he's not out of the woods. 3 drivers are going home, and only 3 of the go-homers have been on track so far to qualify.
I know it's only a 10th.
Nice job, bud. Had to be a heck of a headwind there. We lost a lot of speed down the back straightaway there on the ticker on TV here.
That was Doug Richard, his new crew chief, and you probably won't find a better cheerleader other than maybe Steve Lee Tart than Doug Richard is.
And nice job last couple of weeks by Paul Clapperud, who was the interim crew chief for this team. They made some gains last week, and they feel they're headed in the right direction. So we'll see if that holds up and gets Lally into the show as Travis Quapple in the Long John Silver's Ford comes out for his qualifying lap. 6 Cup races at Talladega. He has a top 10 finish here in 2008 and started pole here in the fall race in 2008 when driving for Robert Yates.
You know, Darrell, I was going to say Andy Lally at a 61, Tony Raines at a 72. I know that's only a 10th difference, but I have a better feeling about that 54.61 than I do that 54.72, even though there's only a 10th separate.
Yeah, by all means, Larry. That's about the range you're going to see these cars fall into, other than maybe a couple guys here that could. I think there's a couple of guys back there, Michael being one of them, at the last car to go. Maybe Joe. Joe's won a pole here before, being a go-homer. And that wouldn't surprise me to see him do it again.
Yeah, Joe Nemechek in that 87 car.
And again, we point out, practice is over. Qualifying, you have to do with this, you got to be ready to race when you come out here to qualify. But for these drivers, their race is to get in the race, so they've pulled out all the stops.
Yeah, we've had several qualifying sessions going back to Texas last week where there were no more practice after qualifying, but you could work on your cars. This is an impound. In the morning, they'll let them adjust a few things, take the tape off the nose, warm the engine up. Very few changes you can make from qualifying to the race.
Yeah, well, just in the fluids alone. I mean, you can gamble a little bit on it's a gamble. Lighter oil in the engine, lighter oil here in the transmission, gear, whatever. That's a bit of a gamble that a guy running up there trying to make the chase or trying to stay up in the points wouldn't take. These guys aren't quite that way.
First lap for Travis, 55.15. Now that is 2.5 tenths quicker than Andy Lally's first lap. So Travis should be able to lock himself into the field with this lap.
Losing a lot of ground, as we've seen a lot of our drivers turning off into turn 3. That wind down there that we keep talking about, but it looks like he may end up being in good shape here.
Gotta hang on just a little bit longer.
Pick it back up.
Yeah, moved the right way when he made that little dive down there.
Nice lap for Travis Quapple, 26th overall, 54.27. He will race tomorrow. Dave Blaney and Mike Skinner next.
NASCAR race day hits the high banks of Talladega. Boyer, Kozlowski, and Edwards join us live. Plus, we'll examine the importance of spotters at super speedways. NASCAR race day built by the Home Depot. Sunday at 10 Eastern, live on Speed.
Today, more than 6 million older Americans face the threat of hunger. In just 2 years, the number of people suffering has more than doubled. With your help, we can make this problem disappear. That's why I've teamed up with AARP and AARP Foundation in the Drive to End Hunger. Join us by visiting drivetoendhunger.org.
Wonder where the Durango's been for the last 2 years? It toured around Europe, getting handling and steering lessons on those sporty European roads. It went back to school, got an advanced degree in technology. It's been working out, more muscle and less fat. It's done more in 2 years than most cars do in a lifetime.
Now lease the all-new 2011 Dodge Durango all-wheel drive Express for $359 a month for well-qualified lessees.
It's time to take matters into your own hands. AutoZone's got the advice and expertise you need to take on any job, because do it yourself doesn't mean you have to do it alone. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
This spring, get more mileage out of your travel plans with $50 in free gas. Stay 2 separate times at Comfort Inn or any of these choice hotels, and you can earn a free $50 gas card. Book now only at choicehotels.com.
Introducing a renewable energy solution that will forge new opportunities for the American worker, as well as advance our nation's energy independence. American ethanol. From America's cornfields to America's racetracks. It's a brand new race day.
Speed's presentation of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying from Talladega, brought to you by Miracle Grow Shake and Feed Plus Weed Preventer. 3 months of feeding without all the weeding. And by Toyota. Dave Blaney, first lap in the Golden Corral Chevrolet for Tommy Baldwin, 55.41. That is exactly when Andy Lally ran. Travis Kvapil quickest to the go-or-go homers. 4 of them have run.
Sitting right on top of what Andy Lally ran. Now he comes to the left of it a little bit. See wind blowing around, a little more debris on the front end of the 36 car of Blaney.
Pretty close to Andy Lally at a 54.61. No, he beats Lally by a 10th and a half. 54.46, and Dave Blaney is in the show. He will race tomorrow.
That Golden Corral sponsorship, top 10, kids eat free.
I just saw the car when it came through the travel area. That's where a lot of that trash is, blowing out of the grandstand out into the racetrack.
And when the wind blows at Michigan and Auto Club Speedway, that's normally where the cars will pick it up, is coming through that D-shaped front straightaway.
Now, there's no problem today because we're not racing, obviously, but if that was to happen tomorrow, that could be big trouble.
Yes, it could.
So the bottom 3 remain: Lally, Raines, and McDowell. Krista?
Travis Kvapil will race. I know you're excited about that. And what about the wind, though? Did you lose some time there in turn 3? That's what the guys upstairs were talking about.
I don't know. It's hard to tell. Yesterday it was crazy. We were out doing our runs, and it was a 400 RPM difference from the front stretch to the back stretch. And you watch the RPMs, and it's just, you don't really know. It felt like we were hitting the wind over there for some reason, maybe. I don't know which way it's blowing. But proud of my guys. Front Row Motorsports, Long John Silver's 4. Pretty good speed in it, after a disappointing week at Texas last week. It's good to rebound back. Just excited to, be in the race tomorrow. And my teammate David proved in Daytona anything can happen. So if we keep our nose clean and we're in the middle of it tomorrow, we got a chance.
Thanks, Travis. And Mike, the go or go home guys that are locked in, the Long John Silver's car and the Golden Corral car. I'm hungry.
Can't say I blame you. Mike Skinner, as Michael Waltrip signs an autograph. Mike Skinner on track in the big red Toyota, number 60 for Skinner.
Got his best career Sprint Cup Series finish here. Finished second back in April of 2000.
He's had 2 top 5 starts and 4 top 10 starts at this racetrack.
You ever listen to Moody's show since Angie's been on there, his wife?
On Sirius Radio in the afternoon.
XM 128. Yeah. Yep. I'll tell you what, that's 2 good ones right there, Moody and Angie together.
They have a time.
Oh my goodness.
They complement each other pretty well. Very well, in fact.
He's got some work to do from that first lap right there at a 55.70.
Yes, of the 5 go or go homers, that is the 4th fastest of 5 first laps.
NASCAR Camping World Truck Series started back in 1995, and Mike Skinner was that very first champion driving for Richard Childress Racing, the 3 truck.
It's going the right way, but it's going to have to hurry up.
I don't know if it's going to get there quick enough.
Now the red line is Andy Lally. The red line on the ticker, that is right there. He has to get to the left side of the red line to lock himself in. If he's to the right, he's not out, but he's not in yet.
But I believe this lap will be good news for Andy Lally.
Well, Skinner trying to find all the speed he can. And he'll be a little disappointed with that run. 54.69 for Mike Skinner. He goes on the hot seat as Andy Lally is now locked into the field.
Friday, the trucks rumble into Nashville as NASCAR's toughest drop the hammer for a full throttle battle on the concrete. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping Road Truck Series from Nashville. Friday at 7:30 Eastern, live on Speed.
Keeping your pride and joy perfect is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Start with Slick Mist Speed Wax. Simply mist on and wipe off for a professional detailer shine. For your tires and trim, there's Lucas Slick Mist Tire and Trim Shine. Spray on and wipe off for better than new look. Then finish her with Lucas Slick Mist Interior Detailer. Just spray and wipe. Easy. Use Lucas Slick Mist Car Care products and she'll never look better. Fast, easy, and professional. Really, it's sort of like having an extra set of hands. Or 3.
My feet are killing me.
Well, we're here to get you custom orthotic inserts.
We can't afford that.
Yes, we can.
Dr. Scholl's Custom Fit Orthotic Center. Foot care scientists are behind it.
You have flat feet.
No way.
Way.
Orthotic 440 is recommended.
It recommends the Custom Fit Orthotic insert that's best for your feet.
You'll get all-day relief.
For your tired, achy feet.
And you could save a couple $100.
Sweet. This is great.
Dr. Scholl's Custom Fit Orthotic Center.
Who are you talking to?
For locations, see drscholls.com.
We now offer phone service.
Lead paint poisoning affects over 1 million children today. Dust from lead-based paint could cause violent behavior. If your home was built before 1978, log on to leadfreekids.org.
I've got big news for millions of satisfied Allegra users and allergy sufferers alike. You no longer need a prescription to get Allegra because it's now over the counter, so you can get it right at the shelf.
Prescription strength Allegra is now available without a prescription.
It's the same exact medicine, same full prescription strength.
Only Allegra delivers fast, non-sedating 24-hour relief for your toughest allergy symptoms.
Allegra, prescription strength allergy medicine, now available without a prescription.
Florida's Joe Nemechek got that nickname Front Row Joe in large part from Talladega Superspeedway, where he is a 4-time pole winner. Now driving for his own race team, running unsponsored and trying to race his way into the field. He has the fastest first lap of the go-or-go-homers by a full 2/10.
And I've heard Joe say this, Larry, that a lot of the big teams pay attention to how well this team does with the financing it has.
They should. At all racetracks, for that matter, especially on qualifying day.
I mean, he's right in there with the big boys.
Joe is going to out-qualify the whole Gibbs team, most of the Fords, and a lot of other well-funded operations. He is 21st with a 54.19. Good lap.
Good job, Joe. Check your brakes on the back there.
Fastest go-or-go-homer by more than 0.2 of a second.
We spoke about that earlier. You heard the crew chief telling him, check your brakes on the backstretch. Don't wait till you get all the way over here to pit road, because if you check them that late in the game, you may not have them when you come down pit road.
Now his team has had extra work to do this week as they have entered 2 cars. This one for Joe and a number 97 car for last year's Rookie of the Year, Kevin Conway, who started 33rd and finished 30th here last April. So here is the Extends Toyota for Conway. Tried to make the Daytona 500, was disappointed, and hopes to make his first start of 2011 tomorrow. The bottom 3, Mike Skinner, Tony Raines, and Michael McDowell. So the time to beat to lock yourself in is 54.69.
Kevin, the 2010 Rookie of the Year.
Really does a nice job on the marketing side of things. Really has a great business sense about him.
I just always liked the way I know he wasn't a threat to win a race or most of the time have even a top 10 finish, but I like the way he conducted himself on the racetrack. He tried to run the whole race, get as much out of it as he could, stay out of trouble, and bring the car home in one piece.
I don't think I heard a single competitor in 2010 say anything bad about Kevin Conway being in the way or causing an issue or any of those things.
After Conway, Steve Park, Michael Waltrip, and Bill Elliott will close out qualifying, so bumping will begin right after this run.
And what's interesting, you see Joe Nemechek, you see Tommy Baldwin bring a second car here, and the question may be, why would you do that? Is Kevin's first lap not a bad first lap, 54.92?
Same as Joe's.
It helps the funding. You see Joe Nemechek's car without any sponsorship on it. It just helps fund it if you can possibly come here and get both these cars, both these drivers in the show.
Well, with this kind of a practice and qualifying procedure, the schedule we have this weekend, that could be Joe's backup car. Because most likely, if you're in a situation like these teams are, that would be a car that would be sitting in a trailer for a backup if you only had one car. If Joe was here by himself, he would have that as his backup car, but he's willing to gamble that he's not going to need a backup car, put it on the racetrack.
Kevin Conway's going to lock himself into this race.
Yes, so Joe Nemechek will have both of these cars race tomorrow, both these drivers in this 500-miler.
Conway 31st with a 54.34. That will send Michael McDowell home today.
Bell helmets, mongoose elbow pads, a pillow pet, and cotton balls.
You're doing great.
Guys, come on. She's not that bad of a driver.
Only Walmart has low prices every day on everything you need, backed by our ad match guarantee. Save money, live better. Walmart.
Well, I know one thing about marketing. The more logos you put in one place, the better.
True, but having something unique is better.
Check it out.
The Shell nitrogen-enriched cleaning system acts as a barrier to help protect critical engine parts against performance-robbing gunk.
Mm-hmm. All 3 grades of Shell gasoline are nitrogen-enriched, too.
All 3 grades.
What?
He's good.
Everyone on my team always wants something different for dinner, and I am not a short order cook. That's why we're headed to Cece's Pizza for their $4.99 endless buffet. They have 20 varieties of delicious pizza, as well as fresh salads, hot pasta, and delightful desserts. The variety is unbelievable, so there's something for everyone. Am I a mind reader or just awesome? Or both? I know I can finally relax when I hear...
Hi, welcome to Cece's.
Experiments fail. Technologies fail. Failure is part of life. Fram filters are tested beyond any conditions you'll ever encounter to help make sure failure is not part of your engine's life. Fram, don't fail your engine.
There's a new team in the garage. NASCAR and the American farmer are working together to introduce American ethanol, a renewable energy solution that is the right choice for the future of our sport, our country, and our planet. It's a brand new race day.
NASCAR's ultimate pre-race show hits the high banks of Talladega. NASCAR Race Day. Clint Boyer, Brad Keselowski, and points leader Carl Edwards join us live. Plus, NASCAR Hall of Fame inductee Bobby Ellison gets in on the fun. And we'll put on the headsets and take a closer look at the importance of spotters at super speedways. NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot, live from Talladega, Sunday at 10 Eastern. And join the celebration at 8 Eastern with NASCAR Victory Lane, fueled by Sunoco, only on Speed.
Welcome back to Sprint Cup qualifying for tomorrow's Aaron's $4.99 on Fox. This is Steve Park from East Northport, Long Island. Former star of NASCAR's modified tour, got the call from Dale Earnhardt in 1996 and drove for DEI from 97 to mid-03. And he's trying to put a second Tommy Baldwin car in the field. First lap 55-17. Second lap 55-17, excuse me. Second lap 54-35 for Steve Parks. So he is in. He will race tomorrow, and that will send Tony Raines home.
When Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, Dale Earnhardt Sr. started DEI in the Sprint Cup Series, this was his very first driver. In fact, Steve won 2 races for DEI at Watkins Glen and at Rockingham.
Krista?
Joe Nemechek talking to his driver, Kevin Conway. And Joe, when you get both your cars in there, it's got to be as satisfying as some of these guys who are putting cars on the front row. You're doing it with underfunded, lower-funded teams. It's got to be satisfying.
Yes, it is, and I'm just so proud of all the guys that we have working at Nemco Motorsports. We're fortunate, Kevin Conway's helping us this week, along with Extends, and Extends is on our nationwide car today. So, but just a lot of work. The car that I have here is the one I killed it on lap 29 in the Daytona 500, so it's basically got a new body on it, and Kevin's was the same one as from Daytona, and we run well. I mean, I thought we were going to run faster than that, but the guys up front really have some good motor packages and some good aero packages worked out, and it's not bad for a small team that never gets to go to the wind tunnel, so we'll take it.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
That was a great run for Nemechek. 21st fastest. 2 drivers left, 1 spot available in the field. As the skies fill up over Talladega. Now, Bill Elliott, we know, is locked into the field because he's a past champion. He'll be in the 46. And today at Auburn University is a day for spring football. They are college football's national champions, and Michael Waltrip's number 99 is carrying the colors of Auburn, the Auburn Tigers.
So actually in the state of Alabama, it's the A-Day game at both universities, at the Auburn University and at Tuscaloosa for the University of Alabama. Their inter-squad scrimmage that they have every single year. In fact, last year in Tuscaloosa, over 84,000 people attended that scrimmage at Bryant-Denny Stadium.
I knew Larry'd figure out a way to talk about Alabama when the Auburn car went out on the racetrack. I just knew it.
That's a good-looking car, though. I got to say that right there. It was great to see them go out there to Phoenix and beat the Oregon Ducks and Heisman Trophy winner Cam Newton on board.
Well, now let's find out, will it be Michael Waltrip or Mike Skinner who races in the Aaron's 499 tomorrow? Skinner's lap 54.69. His first lap 55.70, so the pickup almost exactly 1 second.
Well, the fastest Toyota is Brian Vickers. He's 9th at 53.98. And we've already talked about the Gibbs cars. They're much further down their line there. We'll see what Michael can do.
And Michael's teammate David Rudiman at 54.05. Winding it up around the top of the racetrack.
Yeah, David's 13th. David Rudiman in the 00, so Michael might be able to pull something out here.
Michael's staying busy in a lot of forms of motorsports here lately. In fact, he's been over there testing recently, but in June he will race in the 24-hour Le Mans with co-owner Rob Kaufman. They tested, I think they were over there just this past week testing again.
Well, he's going to go, that's why I'm going to do the truck race next Friday night. He is on his way over there, and he has a mandatory drivers meeting that he has to be at. And he couldn't schedule it where he could do the race in Nashville and make it, so I'm going to fill in for him.
First lap for Waltrip. Skinner 55.70. Waltrip is quicker, 54.91.
And just look at this right here, and that is quicker than Joe Nemechek's first lap, who is the quickest of the go-or-go homers.
Well, I don't know if you remember or not. Of course, I would remember maybe better than others, but he and Jimmy Johnson in this race last year were coming to the front at the end of that race, and Michael had an engine problem right at the end.
Well, that first lap is top 10 territory. Well, we promised you a surprise in knockout qualifying, and this is it.
Yeah, I believe he's definitely going to hang in the top 10. He lost it a little bit there entering the trial. Well, still going to be a great lap for Michael, though.
So Auburn, top 10 in football. Top 12 at Talladega. Michael Waltrip, 54 seconds flat. 12th place.
Nice job, and he's going to race today as well, so he gets some seat time this weekend.
And the head coach for those national champions, Gene Chesick, he's going to tell them, gentlemen, start your engines for that 500-mile race tomorrow.
All right. Krista?
Well, Mike, from the Auburn car and War Eagle to Steve Park, back in the field. We haven't seen you since Daytona last July, but it's good to see you back. How does it feel to be back?
It feels good, especially now that we know we're in the race. So, it's tense. I've never been so tense qualifying before because with all this knockout qualifying, it's kind of gets you edgy, just getting enough speed out of the car to get in the show. So, just want to thank Tommy Baldwin Racing for giving me the opportunity, Chevrolet ECR engines, and I want to say hello to my family, mom and dad, and Jessica and Jaden back home. Feels good to be back at Talladega.
We can tell it's good to have you back. Thanks, Steve.
When Steve got hurt, when he first went over with Dale, driving the Pennzoil car, he was out of the car for a little while, and Dale called me and asked me would I drive the Pennzoil car for him, and that was a great experience for me. I had a good time. We had some great runs. Steve got back in the car later on that year and also had some good runs.
So the final qualifier will be Bill Elliott. He is locked into the field because he is the most recent past champion among the go-or-go-homers. This is the Redline Oil Chevrolet, usually driven by J.J. Yaley. Elliott is the track record holder at 212.8 miles an hour back in the pre-restrictor plate days. And to put that in perspective, that is 12 seconds a lap quicker than we're running today. That's almost unbelievable by today's terms.
Yeah, these are pretty slow speeds for Talladega, based on just about any time we've been here through the years.
Yeah, that track record on that day, the entire field qualified over 200 miles per hour. About lap 20, Bobby Allison blew an engine coming through the tri-oval, cut the left rear tire down, almost went into the grandstands, which led to the carburetor restrictor plate.
Yeah, even at that time, 1987, we were inching up on. I mean, we're 212 then. Can you imagine what the cars would go
without
down?
The draft?
Yeah, that would just. Bill's qualified by himself at 212 miles an hour. We'd be well over 230 by now.
So the Whitney Motorsports team is locked in by virtue of Elliott being behind the wheel. He is not fast, 57.06. That is by a wide margin the slowest first lap today.
You know, we know Dale Earnhardt Jr. pretty much has a lock each year right now on NASCAR's most popular driver, but Bill Elliott 16 times voted NASCAR's most popular driver. Voted by the fans.
You never saw Bill get very upset about anything. I think the only time I ever saw him real upset was in the maybe All-Star race when the famous pass in the grass. He and Dale and Jeff Bodine, they were all having quite a go of it that day.
True. Well, Bill Elliott is going to have to fall back on the Champions Provisional to make the show here at Talladega today. He will get the last spot in the field. And you hear that engine, it just sounds way off. And so is the time, 56.33. 45th of 46. Now that is slowest today. For only the third time in NASCAR history, one team sweeps the front four. And that is Hendrick Motorsports, led by Jeff Gordon. Third on NASCAR's all-time pole list, Steve, with his 70th career pole.
Yeah, sole possession of third now, Mike. And Jeff, Mike Joy was just talking about not only your accomplishment, but the fact that Hendrick Motorsports goes 1, 2, 3, 4. It's pretty amazing.
That is really amazing. Obviously shows the type of teamwork and communication sharing that goes on at Hendrick Motorsports and all the hard work, especially into these restrictor plate bodies and engines. It takes a lot of effort. So, so excited for this drive to end Hunger Chevrolet to be on top. Obviously, I didn't have a whole lot to do with it. We never even made a qualifying run and just held it wide open. And very impressive to see 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's so ironic too, because me and Mark have been working together in practice. He's right behind me, and we expect the 48 and 88 to work together. They're nose to tail. So this is a great way to get the weekend started.
Best of luck tomorrow, Jeff. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Great run for Jeff Gordon. Coverage of NASCAR's weekend here in Talladega continues tomorrow, beginning with NASCAR Race Day right here on Speed. Then you'll see the Sprint Cup Series race on Fox beginning noon Eastern, followed up by NASCAR Victory Lane right back here on Speed. Coverage continues all weekend long on Speed and on Fox. Jeff Gordon got just what he wanted. His drafting partner will start right behind him.
For what I see, Paul Menard, Landon Castle, David Reagan looking for their first career Sprint Cup Series win. Talladega's known for giving guys that first win.
Yeah, well, there's a first-time winner right there in the 21 car, Trevor Bain, inside of the 6th row. And there's Michael. What a great run for him. Keep an eye on him.
Got topsy-turvy qualifying. The first 2 to go out both end up right near in or near the top 20, Montoya and McMurray. Joe Nemechek, what a lap for that unfunded or lightly funded, unsponsored team. Good run for Nemechek, 22nd. Michael Waltrip fastest of the go-go homers in 12th.
Yeah, don't count those Toyota boys out. Just remember Daytona. They didn't qualify that great, but they raced good.
Don't count Kevin Harvick out. He won this race a year ago.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow with NASCAR on.